Oh, the sun's going down. Phooey. Hello. What a day. The sun is out. It's been nice. Put some more natural light in here. I'm trying to use natural light to talk to you guys, but it ain't working out. I might have to get a lamp. Anyway, it is hot today in Connecticut. Wait, what? I hope you were meaning a nice day to go for a walk. It's a beautiful day. Wow, I keep coming back to talk about gun control with you guys. And here I am, waiting to see what the world has to say today. This is going to continue to happen. I've said it, and I'll say it every single day, that this conversation is getting old. I want to talk about other things. Like all the single men that are in the world now that I'm single. Because let me tell you something. This baby here will be treasure for somebody. Another man's trash is another man's treasure. Go run and tell that. I am feeling good today. But what's sad is that people have lost their lives. I have my laptop here and we're going to talk about it. Because what's to debate about anymore? You still want to debate about your guns? You still want to debate about gun culture and people are dying on a day-to-day basis? I haven't seen, at least our community here on TikTok, get it. It hasn't registered just yet that nobody should be dying because somebody wants to pop off. That's mental illness. Like if you can't control your freaking emotions, if you can't control, yourself, then there's something wrong with you. You need to go get help. When I see your comment, when you say I'm keeping my gun, it is my goal to take it. Because if you're not capable of understanding, ascertaining that gun control is not about you, that it's about us. Stop being selfish. I'm about to open up my laptop because I'm pretty sure a teen, I believe, just got shot in New York. So sad to me that you'd want to hold something that's more than likely going to be used against you. 57 women die a month because of intimate partner deaths. You know what I'm saying? You're pretty much living with the thing that's going to kill you, statistically. Yeah, I'm going to be treasure for myself, if anything, if nothing less. Okay? God will bless. Run until that, if nothing less. If you guys been following me, you guys are my friends. You guys know that I've been single. This is my 3rd week. And it's just weird for me to actually get dressed up for myself. I didn't even realize I didn't even care anymore. I didn't even care. When you are, this is off topic real quick, when you are in a relationship for so long, you just trying to, kind of lean on them for everything. And he didn't really care how I looked. And actually, if I got dressed up, he didn't really say anything. So it feels good to look good for myself today. So yeah, I will be treasure, for at least for me. I'll be gold, rich gold, 24 karat, baby. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Guns save more lives per year than they take lives. It doesn't matter. It does not matter how many lives are saved when guns. when it's substantially matching the lives that it takes? Do the math. More people died last year than 9/11 times 10. People die today. Someone's dying right now. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to keep my gun. You're the problem. See, the difference between me and somebody who already has a gun and doesn't want to give it up is the mere fact that if I had a gun, I would do everything humanly possible to be a part of the solution of gun control, because they're out of control. 398 million guns. What? I see. Anyway, I have kids, and I can tell you right now, you might as well just take your kids and put them in the middle of the highway. If you have guns with kids, you might as well just take your guns and go out in the middle of the highway, because clearly you're not getting it. Law-abiding citizens are not locking up their guns. A 17-year-old was playing. These teenagers were playing in Florida with guns. They had their armor on. That's what they called it on the news. They called it armor. Actually, check out my nails. Check out my nails. Catch that. Cute, huh? Blue is the new red. Run until that. Yeah. So these teenagers are having armor and they are shooting each other. And I said this in my video. I said, stupid is as stupid does. That's what mama said. Didn't mama say that? But this mama says, don't do it. Stupid is, don't do it. Okay? How about that? Hi, Booker. Sorry, I'm in my living room. My new living room, by the way. I am now in my own apartment and completely solo. Oh my God. I got this bed from Ashley's. Love my bed. Check out my bed, you guys. Anyway, I can't imagine the people, and I'm going to open up my laptop right now. Now, I want to hear what you guys have to say. I cannot imagine how many parents are in a home right now with guns, all types of guns, thinking that their kids will never disobey them. They'll never take that gun. And then those are the kids that you thought wouldn't pop off, and they do. And now the parents are going to be held accountable. You're going to see this more and more. I promise you. Joe Biden, our president, is a part of gun control. Can you believe that? I told you guys that Joe Biden is the best president to ever have existed. Nobody's talking about it though. As long as God will allow me to have a platform, I'm going to talk about the truth. And the truth is, Joe Biden is for gun control. He's trying to tackle down ghost guns. And also people here in my state, Connecticut, we got red flag laws being introduced in states because people are starting to wake up. If you're not woke, I hope you're not the one in New York, Brooklyn, just going on a subway, going to where? Manhattan or somewhere. I don't know where you're going. Where you going? Going to go get meat on a stick? Going to see Jenny up the block? I don't freaking know what you're doing. I'm in Connecticut. But I can tell you this. You thought you were worried about the COVID in New York. You thought you were doing good when you got vaccinated. But you cannot be vaccinated from the bullets that are being sprayed by criminals. Or possibly law-abiding. Who knows? You know, it's sad. You guys got to wake up. And put on your makeup. Wake up. Put on your makeup. You know, sad. This is happening right now. Like someone is dead. Let's go Biden. Yes. He's still got 3 more years. Like, it's so sad to me. Criminals will always find a way to get guns, and law-abiding citizens will always be in their way, our way of getting their guns. Like, of course criminals are going to be criminals, but that's why we have law enforcement. Thank you, Heather girl. Thank you. You love President Trump, please do me a favor and know that he is our prior president. I'm talking past tense, bro. Like, he's not the president. In that case, I love President Obama. How about that? Yes, you may. You may join. Because I got I gotta look up anyway. So many people have been injured in New York. It's so freaking sad to me. Come on through. I thought I saw you guys. You like Obama, but he did not need to be judged. I do black people for existing. I'm not understanding what you're saying, love. Hey, I thought you guys said you were coming. You sound like the person in line at the grocery store that makes everyone make them behind them mad. To you, Jackson. To you. New York needs to emancipate. I'm sorry, can you elaborate that on Stuart? You have to accept what? You don't know how to request? Oh. I guess I don't either. I guess I had to press a button. Let me get my thing. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Hey.
What's going on?
Hey there, how are you? I'm just gonna mute myself. I'm just gonna mute myself real quick, and then I'll be back.
Okay. Oh, we can have 3 people, by the way. Somebody else could come. What a cool feature. So what's going on? A mass shooting in New York?
And ain't New York got ain't it like one of the strictest gun law states in the country?
I tell those people, you guys got to look at the statistics. New York is not the top leading state or city with perpetuating gun violence. So what's going on?
Fill me in on it, because I haven't watched the news in so long. I don't know any. I heard a little bit about it, but I don't know the details.
Okay, well, let me pull up the report. But there was a mass shooting in Brooklyn, New York. Okay, and there was multiple actually that I read today. When President Trump did everything in his power to make the country better, we love Trump. Lord have mercy. Why do you think that, love? If that was true, he would be the president right now. In fact, the reason why Biden is president, because he was so divisive. Come on, wake up. Smell the smelling salt. And hey, listen, if you love Trump, tell me why. Tell me why. Give me one specific thing. Why? Like, I want to know policy.
I mean, I made and saved more money under President Trump than I have any other president since I've been old enough to be at work.
So Joe Biden's only been the president for 1 year. What changed in your pockets?
I think it wasn't necessarily. So look, so here's my thing when it comes to these presidential debates. I don't blame all the problems in the country on one man. Okay, it's about his cabinet, and it's really about Congress more than anything. Congress has a lot more influence on the way this country goes than the president does. Now, he has executive orders, and he has pressure and things like that to Congress, but one man is not to blame for every problem that we have. But the COVID restrictions that were placed throughout the country screwed up the supply chain. I mean, it really did. Everybody got a huge stimulus package. Okay. And there was people that had more money than they've ever had in their life.
Yeah, that's good.
And everybody was able to, and it was, I mean, to a certain extent, but when you have a low supply chain and a lot of money to be spent, it was a recipe for a disaster. Everybody went out and just bought all this stuff, groceries. People were spending hundreds of dollars on groceries whenever.
Doesn't that stimulate the economy?
It would if the supply chain wasn't screwed up.
Yeah, but I know you got to know that there's a bigger business behind this. I mean, everything just really happened so magically together. Isn't that kind of interesting?
It overstimulated it, in my opinion. Everybody went out and bought goods and bought things, and that was great. But whenever there weren't enough people to go back to work to resupply the supply chain, that's when your inflation happened. Now you got people that still got a lot of money from the stimulus package trying to buy things. Stores don't have enough inventory to meet the demand, so prices go up.
I have a question. Do you think Trump wouldn't have given us a stimulus check?
I don't honestly know what Trump would or would not have done. I really don't.
There was a demand, but let me just say this. There was a demand for a stimulus check for everyone across the globe. It was not just here in America. In fact, America really didn't get that much. There was other countries that got 2-3 times more stimulus in their countries.
the problem when Trump was in
And,
office.
and let me just say this. I don't mean to cut you off, but let me just say this. I got a stimulus check. And let me tell you something. When I did my taxes, it wasn't just a stimulus check. You know, I love when people say stimulus check. It's just a soundbite. No, this was our tax-paying dollars.
Yeah, I mean, we got a refund.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got a refund. I mean, it wasn't like it was a government handout. It was.
We worked for that money. Come on.
I mean, we've been paying in that pot for a long time.
Every little bit helps.
Every little bit helped me, I can tell you that.
But the thing with Trump, whenever he was in office, you had Pelosi and Schumer, which hold the majority. Well, let me think. Yeah, they were the majority leaders, House and Senate. They were holding up a lot of the stimulus packages because the Republicans didn't want to pass a lot of other things along in the bill. I don't think the stimulus money was ever a problem. It was a lot of the other fat on the bills, if you will. A lot of money that was going to go places that would be unaccounted for.
But can I say this as a realtor? You know, I have seen the real estate market be substantially changed from this pandemic. From my region, Connecticut, I don't see people hurting for money. I'm sorry. I'm going to be straight up freaking honest with you guys. Okay, a lot of people in Connecticut have reserve. If you don't know what reserve is, maybe you should know. I'm not with my partner anymore, but he had a reserve. And in fact, we bought our house and when the market was a buyer's market. So we made a lot of, a return when the market went up for some reason. I don't know why, you guys, but probably because the interest rates, which that's going to change now. Now the market's going to crash because the banks are raising the interest rates, which are going to scare the buyer. So there's not going to be enough buyers. And so you guys are going to start renting. So a lot of investors are going to start buying multifamilies and things like that. So, this seems really planned to me. I'm sorry. It's just kind of crazy because although people are saying, well, inflation and everybody's hurting. Why are you guys buying houses then if you broke?
Well, I credit the real estate market rise to the rise of lumber prices. Now, that's my opinion. That ain't a fact. That ain't something I've Googled or anything. I just know that it's cheaper to buy a house already built than it is to build a house.
Or, look at this scenario. People that are smart with their money don't want to overpay for a house because it's just a seller's market. People are paying $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, maybe even $100,000 bids just to win the bid. People that are smart with their money are like, dang, I could buy something, jacked up, foreclosure, bank-owned property for a fraction of the price, and then go flip it and then make my money. So if everybody starts doing that, guess what's going to happen? People are going to stop buying houses. So they jack up the prices to fix things, lumber, so that now you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You might as well just buy a house.
Well, I mean, and to your point, the housing market isn't the only thing that's jacked up. I mean, look at your vehicle market. Look at,
what I'm saying is I don't see the jacked up part.
Well, all right. So
am I taking crazy pills because everybody looks pretty good from where I am?
Well, as far I'm speaking mainly to the vehicle side of the market. Okay, so used truck side, used cars and things like that. I'll give you an example, a real good example. Me and my wife bought her a brand new 2020 Honda Accord, and we paid $22,000 for it. All right, she decided she wanted a Honda Odyssey, or not an Odyssey, a Pilot SUV. So we went up there and we talked to them. They offered her, before we even discussed the price of the Pilot, they offered her $26,000 for her car because they don't have enough Honda Accords on the lot. All right. Well, eventually, they're going to flood the market with new vehicles. It's going to happen. They will. Yeah. They will catch back up, and it's going to flood the market. Yeah. All these people that have paid $10,000, $15,000, and $20,000 more for a vehicle than what they should have is going to completely screw up the used car market, and it's going to be the same way with the houses.
This is what it's like, and we know this, but people need to survive. They need to go. This is the year they're going to buy a car, and so I honestly don't get it. When I went to real estate school and I learned about supply and demand, and I realized that we are the reason why everything is happening the way that it's happening, my mind was just blown. But anyway, you know what? You know what helps is that we educate each other and we talk. Like for instance, I listen. You got to work. Everybody's working. Like, if you lost a job, you could Uber. I mean, there's so many other things you could do to make money today. It's kind of freaking amazing that the world doesn't talk about. I mean, at any moment at your time, yes, I used to do Uber driving, and it was annoying, especially during Christmas with all these college students drunk in my car. But let me tell you this. If you did 5 or 6 rides, you got about 100. If you did 5 or 6 rides, you got about $100. So you get paid as much as you want to work now. So you can't say you can't get a job, because anybody can get a job now with Uber and DoorDash.
Yep.
It's the problem is
right now I'm working 2 jobs.
The problem
and work 2 jobs. I love a person that works 2 jobs. Let me tell you something. At one point, I worked 3 jobs.
Oh, God, God bless you. God bless you.
Yep. And you know what? Even though I'm doing good in real estate, sometimes we have slow seasons. I'm thinking about doing something else. I don't know. What the hell? Look, I'm doing this right now, waiting for a gig. So we got to bring back that work culture for sure. But let's get back to the mass shooting real quick. Somebody said, let's talk about this. Suspect at large after 10 shot at Brooklyn subway station. Listen, y'all, I live in Southern Connecticut. Today is such a beautiful day that anybody could have been like, you know what, let's just hit up New York. This could have been anybody at the freaking subway.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, this is freaking crazy to me. So what happened? Somebody says, I feel shocked. Subway shooting survivor says he was sitting next to a suspect on the train before being shot. Like, I mean,
I read about that. Did the shooter have any mental disorders? Was there anything wrong with him, or was he completely fine?
I don't know. I'm going to keep reading, and you guys can tell me what your thoughts are, or answer some of these comments. But at some point, you have to understand that if anybody's willing to take somebody's life massively, there's something wrong with them.
Yeah. No, I agree. As a gun owner, I pray the day that I never have to take someone's life. But I gotta protect me. I gotta protect all my stuff. Sorry,
so this is what. So no, it's okay. It's okay. So this is what I've said, and I keep saying it. Listen, I am for gun control, and I'm a proud American. Okay, I love this country. Okay, it don't get no better than this, and I love our Constitution. As an African American woman, I am proud of my people. I'm sad that we had to do so much hurls and hoops to get to where we are today, but today I can say that we are free. And we fought for it, and we have a Constitution, and we have all these awesome laws and rights. So with that said, I'm glad everybody can bear arms. That should never be infringed. You should be able to protect your family. But where are you guys when these crazy people, these criminals, are popping off?
Well, that's the thing. And when you take a gun safety class, when I got my gun, I told myself, okay, look, I'm not going to go be like Batman. I'm not going to go fight crime. I'm just defending me and myself. So God forbid, something happens. I'm gonna defend me. Like a couple weeks ago, there was a shooting at a mall. I was not involved. One of my realtor ladies, she told me that she was involved. She conceals and carries, and that day she was gonna protect her and kind of everyone else in that building.
Wow. See, that's what I want to hear. Listen, if I hear more stories like that, you guys, listen, I've been doing gun control for 3 years because I was a part of the BLM, and I do believe that crime due to proximity, I don't say black on black crime because I respect my people. They don't like it. So a crime due to proximity, okay, has everything to do with a gun. That's why I got into gun control. And I realized that my people are killing each other, and it's not being talked about, but listen to this. New York, you're telling me there was nobody in New York with a gun next to the subway?
Well, I'm not sure about because I don't look into it. I'm not entirely sure if New York has a conceal and carry or even an open carry law. So I'm not 100% sure on that.
When somebody says it's not the gun's fault, that's so weird to me. Like, is there somebody with a sound mind that would understand that this is a water bottle and I wouldn't be able to consume it if I didn't drink it? But it goes hand in hand. In order to drink the water, I need to use the bottle. Come on, man. This isn't is a glass half full situation. This is common sense. Obviously, the gun is nothing without the human being. But without the gun, it would just be a freaking human being.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Jake does tattoo says no, they are illegal there. Okay, so they are illegal in New York City. So then,
What are
if you
legal? What
can't,
are?
I'm guessing guns. That's what he means.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Well,
So
we
I guess
don't.
the
Yeah,
next kind of protection that you can maybe
Well, I
have,
mean,
I'm not sure. I would have to look into this.
yeah. Please
Kind of a
do.
nice
I love when you
taser,
guys
like a little
bring on the
gun.
information. Please bring on the facts and statistics. I love you guys. Even if you disagree with me, I love it when you guys do your homework. Listen, I got my laptop in here and I don't want to just share thoughts. Like, I want to know what the hell's going on.
Look up
Exactly. Yeah.
how many stabbings. Look up how many knife attacks happen every year.
But it didn't happen massively
I'm
today in New
guessing a
York.
lot.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just, I'm
guessing
just
a lot
curious.
in like the major
Yeah, but that's
cities
just
like
like a.
Chicago,
That's,
New York, Washington, Miami.
okay,
listen.
Andrea, as a city transit driver,
Okay.
okay, I believe that you're asking where the people are that have the guns, to,
Yeah.
the good guys or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
law-abiding citizens are going to abide by the law, and guns are illegal on transit.
Okay, so that's actually a really interesting situation because maybe we should arm our transit workers.
I'm down for that.
Moving forward, I mean, security guards have guns, and honestly, I would feel more safe. I mean, like I said, I live in southern Connecticut. I go to New York City all the time, and I'm getting so bored of the whole freaking Manhattan, freaking touristy, freaking feel. Like, I want to go to Brooklyn and have some like uptown experience, and now I'm like scared to go. But if I knew that the workers were able to be armed, or at least a security guard on every subway, then that would make me feel safe. So at least they can intervene. Like that
Yeah,
needs to
I'm not-
happen.
We do have
I'm
most transit authorities and stuff do have armed security that are called transit police, but
Okay.
they don't have enough. They don't have enough to be on every single bus or every single subway.
So, baby, that's what I really hope gun control can start funding. Like, there's so many. Listen, every town, there's so many organizations that I just hope I can get a grasp of, because I'm gonna like put money into getting more officers to do that. Maybe more volunteers. Maybe you law-abiding citizens can put on a badge and be a civilian police officer.
Right. That's one of the things that our transit is fighting for down here in North Carolina. I'm sure you guys saw it was on national news or whatever, but we had one of our coworkers shot and killed back in February.
Wow.
Here
Why?
in
Oh,
Charlotte.
what happened on the train?
It was
On
he was the bus driver, and it was road rage.
Y'all got to stop with your road raging, okay? Let me tell you, in the East Coast, it's freaking bad. Like, I can't. So he killed him
Yeah.
over what? Because he did a illegal turn or something? I had somebody chase me one time with their car.
Well,
It's
according
crazy.
to the video that when I saw the video, there's one of the streets. There's a couple of streets, a lot of streets actually in Charlotte that are very narrow, and so
Sorry,
the
I'm
bus has to
just
take.
switching
It's
up.
okay. So the bus has to take up like both
Come back if you want
lanes.
to. Yeah, go ahead.
The bus has to take up both lanes because the streets are very narrow, and obviously this driver in the SUV was upset at the bus taking both lanes.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're okay. But listen, I thank you for your information. I feel like you brought the solution. But listen, when I bring up that maybe teachers should have guns too, for some reason, people got a problem with that.
I'm okay with that. I think actually, I think in Texas, a lot of teachers are armed.
I mean,
All
why
civilians
not?
should be armed.
Right. Not all, not any criminals, and not the mentally ill.
What are you afraid of?
What am I afraid of? I'm
They're
afraid
already
of
killing people.
At the end of the day, okay,
It's
they
illegal and
are.
it's already
Well,
happening.
listen, I believe that we need to sweep the streets. They're already doing it here in Connecticut, and it works. I don't care about you feeling infringing your privacy. I think we need
So
to
you want
sweep
someone to come
everybody.
to my home and take guns
Yes,
because somebody
yes.
thinks that they're scared?
Not take the guns. Not take the guns. In fact, you have to understand that most of the violence that's being
So a
perpetuated here.
background check?
Background checks have been proven to have
I
loopholes.
go through a background check every time I buy a firearm.
But let me tell you this: Did you take
It
psychology
goes-
101? Did you take psychology 101?
No, I took real life 101.
Okay, because your sarcasm shows that you don't have really good judgment. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Oh,
I would like for anybody that thinks that they are law abiding to have a really uh, long psychological evaluation for you to not even understand that for you to not understand that people, not everyone should have guns. You understand that? Not
no.
everybody's supposed to have guns.
Not everyone's
300
supposed to have cars.
309, and they don't. And if there's
Yeah,
cops,
not everybody has cars. A lot
listen,
of
the
people
one
aren't allowed to
listen,
drive.
one thing I don't do, especially when people die today, is do whataboutisms, okay? And
Oh, all right.
sarcasm,
So, don't you think
sarcasm.
that's weird? Is it weird that they just had a big conference on national television about we need to get rid of these guns, and the next day, boom, mass
Yeah,
shooting like that?
that's a conspiracy, bro. Bro, it's not
That's weird.
conspiracy. There's high crime in New York City. There's no conspiracy. No one's
There's high
taking anybody.
crime everywhere.
There's not high crime everywhere like New York. And every time there's a shooting, oh, it's a
Look, man,
conspiracy.
I worked
It's a
in Chicago
conspiracy.
for 10 years, man.
Bro, there's no conspiracy,
10
bro.
years.
Stop watching InfoWars.
I
Listen,
didn't. I was going
Can-
through. I was going through TikTok, man.
can you do me so?
That's how
Can
I
you do me a
found out
favor?
about it.
Can you do
Everything's
me
a
a favor?
conspiracy. It's so embarrassing. People think.
Okay, but let me say this: people
Oh my
have
God.
died today. People like y'all. I know I'm just a TikTok creator, and you guys are TikTok creators, and we're just TikToking. But as the ticker is talking, people are dying. Do you understand that? And us together, we can make a difference. You know how many
So we
people
wanna
come
give
here?
our power. We
Listen,
want to give our power
let me
up.
let me say something. Do you know how many people come and to our little conversations? How many lives can we change by education? How
Yes,
many
exactly.
like,
Get educated.
So get educated and not bring your sarcasm when people are dead today because somebody had a gun and shouldn't have had it.
Somebody's dead every day.
But that's so
We
that's
need to
so
get educated. You're right. I agree with you on the education thing.
to say people just die, it's not enough. If you can live your life knowing that maybe, just maybe, you could have made a difference, wouldn't you want to do that?
I do every day.
Okay, so this is your chance. There's 72 people here, and you sound like a very intelligent guy. So let's talk about what happened.
Somebody
Okay.
let off a smoke bomb in a
Thank
in
you.
a train.
Yeah, yes.
They don't know who it is. They was wearing a vest and a gas mask, is what I heard. I don't know for sure. This is what I heard.
Okay.
And
Yep.
They started
So
shooting people.
there you go. So the man sitting next to him left off a smoke bomb and started shooting about 20 seconds after the train took off. This sounds like a mentally ill guy, if I'm not mistaken.
During
This sounds-
rush hour.
During rush hour.
Absolutely.
This sounds like a
So I'm
terrorist.
expected to disarm myself when there's people like this running around?
No.
First
No.
of all, you're not. There's no one that's allowed to. You're not coming to New York City and carrying. First of all,
That's what I hear about New York City, for sure.
no, you're not going to be allowed unless you have like a
yeah.
special license, like you're a restaurant owner or you're a
Bruh,
cop.
I had a.
Are you
I have
in
a
New
concealed
York?
Carry. No, I have a concealed carry in Chicago though.
In Chicago? Well,
Right,
I can
but
see
it's
what.
a
gun laws
process-
don't-
it's a process
but
to
gun
get it
laws
there.
don't go state to state. You have to check gun laws in other states. Just because you have
Yeah,
a
I don't go to
concealed
New
carry in
York. Yeah, I
Chicago
don't
Yes,
go to New York.
doesn't mean
that's
you're going to
true.
have it in New York.
That's true.
Yeah,
The
I
gun
don't
laws
go to
are
New York.
different all in
Yes.
every state. And I think that one part of
And
gun
it's worse
control
where they're
is that it has to
And
be the same.
cities too. Cities different too.
Yeah, I just think that that's the worst thing possible. It's so freaking confusing. I think we just need to have like across the board the same gun laws here in the United States of America.
So you put the same gun laws as, on the people who live in the foothills of wherever you got bears and stuff. They need a high-powered rifle if they're living out in the sticks, man.
Okay, so it would be that same situation. It wouldn't be specific. Like you can make reforms that say if you're in an area and it could be like a vague region. It doesn't
No,
have
you
to
can't
be
let the
very
government
specific.
Be vague. You can't let the
Pertaining
government
to
be vague.
pertaining to location, come on, man. You could say rural. You could say country. You could say you know what I'm saying? There's a
I
way
don't
to
spend my
word
time
it.
in the country. I spend
well,
my time with cash
listen.
money. I gotta have a firearm with me.
Listen, and that's probably why you
I
got a
tattoo
gun
for a living.
That's
Yes,
probably why you got a
I
gun.
tattoo for a living. Yes.
Okay,
People
but listen.
rob me. I got
Well,
friends who've
you
been
know what?
shot
I'm going
and
to tell you
killed.
right now. You should not
know?
be walking around with cash. Okay.
And if you're in a very crowded place with smoke, what is
You
a
shouldn't
gun
walk
gonna
around
do?
with cash. Don't come to New
If
York.
you're in a very
Sure.
if you're in a very crowded subway with smoke, what are you just going to spray
I
everywhere?
don't take the subway. I don't live in. I don't
I'm
live
not
in the
asking
city,
you,
man.
but it's just common sense. If you're in a crowded place, you're not just going to you're not going to know what's going on. It's not going to help you anyway.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna be there.
Right. Well, I'm talking about hypothetically. If this happens, saying
Hypothetically,
arming all these people is not going to help the situation. It's
I
chaos.
would never be in that situation.
Like
Okay,
at
well, we're
that.
not talking about just
Like in,
situations that you would be involved in. We're talking about
there's a
situations
lot of
across
echoing.
the United States.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
echoing
was
bad.
there echoing? Or is it still
Yeah.
echoing?
Yeah. But we're not talking about situations only you would be involved in. We're talking about all situations.
Well, as a person who carries, I wouldn't put myself in situations like that.
Yeah, but you think you're so smart, and
Okay,
you
but we're
guess
not
what?
talking about
Like,
Well,
just
good
I
for
don't
you.
think
You
I'm
don't live
smart
here. What do you
at
want me to
all.
tell
listen,
you?
I don't at
Are we
all.
all going to move where you live?
No, what I'm saying is you can't make laws based on fear, man. That's a scary thing to people like me.
Laws
You
based. What
understand?
about
listen,
laws
you are
based
either
on
part of the
common
problem
sense?
or you're part of the freaking solution. I've said this and I said this before. There are kids dying. The guns is the second leading cause of kids dying in this country. And you come here and you're only talking about yourself.
Are you
That's
kidding
why
me?
I'm part of gun control.
Fentanyl
Because
kills
it's
more
about
people than
being
guns.
selfless. It's
And
about putting the
fentanyl is
kids
illegal.
first.
Exactly. So if you make
It's
guns
not
illegal, you
about
think they're going to
you.
stop killing
It's not
people?
about your cash. It's not about you. It's about us as a
Fentanyl's
society.
illegal in New York. Guns are illegal in New York.
But she
Killing
wasn't
is
talking about
illegal.
making guns illegal.
Straight up. Murder is illegal.
She wasn't
Okay,
talking
so
about
what?
making
Okay,
guns
so
illegal
Right, but
though.
let's
having
sit on that.
access to high-powered firearms where you could spray everywhere, it's highly more likely that there's more carnage when it's so easily accessible. No,
No, man.
no,
How you gonna?
no,
How is a
no.
look?
But again, Second Amendment. It
If
doesn't
that
say
dude had a, if
guns.
that
What
dude
is what does the Second Amendment say? Guns or arms?
His solution is no
arms,
solution.
All
anything.
right. So
I mean,
so
we could have
so
cannons according to the Second Amendment.
okay. So do you think
I could
a
have a
regular Joe
minigun.
should
We're
go get a
supposed
new? So can we get nuclear? Should everybody get nuclear weapons? Do you be okay with
maybe
that?
Yeah.
no,
Why not?
but
Like, where's the
Well,
cat,
wait.
bro?
Why isn't that okay?
well, you know what?
Why
It's
can't I
okay.
have a nuclear bomb?
Raytheon civilians, aren't they? I
No,
believe
why
they're
can't I?
nukes, don't
Answer
they?
that question. Why can't I have that?
Go ahead, man. I
No,
don't
why
care.
Because
can't
it's
I?
a
It's the
massively
same thing.
dangerous
Common
weapon.
sense. It's common sense. That's why.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
That's doom.
Right.
So what else
Because it
happened,
Everybody's
causes
guys?
mass
dead.
carnage. That's why.
I've never caused
Okay,
mass
so
carnage.
investigators identified the suspect in the Brooklyn subway shooting after finding a credit card at the scene that was used to rent the U-Haul cargo van. To law enforcement, thank you, law enforcers. Okay, I just can never date y'all ever again. But thank you to every NYPD that's doing the dang thing. I've seen so many tweets. They're saying that they are coming in like the SWAT and having no tolerance for this, but still people are freaking. How many people died for sure?
How many? That's the crazy thing, though. They're
And
already
I don't know
I know
illegal
yet.
10
there.
people were shot, but how many people died? Let me see here.
In a place where they're highly regulated and very illegal to have, people still have them.
Yes.
We already have more laws. Look at how many gun laws there are. There are already so
Listen.
many.
You
There's
have
already
got
so
to
many.
understand
Well, what's your
that
argument
law
about that
will
though?
be nothing without
It has done nothing.
enforcement.
So
Laws
so
need to
do
be
so
enforced.
do you think the problem is the laws themselves, or should we be going after the manufacturers? Because you think about it, if you
Yeah,
guys keep saying that at the
We
end of the
can't even
day
go
that
after Pfizer if they hurt somebody.
listen,
You can't go
you
after
know,
we
cigarettes and
do
they
you
kill
realize
people all
why
the
that's like
time.
that though? Go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
No, I don't know why.
we need to fund programs that are going to put money where there are proven methods that are watched over time. I'm talking about a gun control hospital or a gun
And I'm
control
talking about
station.
human rights.
Let me tell you this. We've got to tackle gun control like we did the COVID. I'm telling you right now. When I'm
Oh,
doing my
hell
nails,
no. That didn't
when I
work.
do my nails and I'm watching the news, they have like records of where the COVIDs are upticking, where it's not upticking, what's going on, and we need to go to these targeting communities and figure out what the problem is. We need to start making proactive choices, precautionary measures, and protocols, and funding people and organizations that are going to get things done. I have no tolerance for the gun. So if
Look,
somebody
I
gave me
agree.
two,
I
if
agree
somebody
with you,
Hold
gave
but
me,
on.
here,
let's say, if
maybe,
Jeff
maybe,
Bezos saw
maybe
me,
this is what I
let me
think.
tell you something.
I think we
If
need
Jeff,
to actually
let
help
me tell
people
you this.
get out of bad situations where they would do something crazy. We need to
I
give
believe
people hope. Hope.
mental illness has
Hope.
a lot to do with it, and I do believe that
Yeah.
our economy has a lot to do with
People
it,
need to start treating each other better, damn it.
and that too. We need to fund more positive. Um,
Yes,
um,
but we don't need to take away our rights.
But who
Nobody is
said
trying to
anybody
take
taking
away
away
your
your rights, though?
rights.
Who said that?
Gun
You guys have.
control. Listen,
I
You
have high
you didn't
capacity
hear me say at
magazines.
one point in time when I came on this live that I was trying to. Cause
No, I'm not
Andrew,
talking
know,
about to
and
you,
we've
man.
had a whole conversation about this. I'm a gun owner,
Yeah,
and
well,
so
I mean, me too.
but let's be
Yeah.
clear. Nobody's talking about taking away anybody's guns.
exactly.
So
Nobody's
that's
ever
what
said
people are
that.
Y'all gotta
doing.
stop with that one. That was great. That was
No,
getting
that's what
real
I heard
old.
when I got jumped on the live. That was the reason I jumped on. That's the reason I
Well,
jumped on.
was
'Cause
it either one of us that said that? That's what my question is.
I don't even know who it was. It's the thing's moving here. There's 2 new people on here from when I jumped on now.
So
But
there is
yes,
a
no, I don't.
manhunt underway. So they never got him.
No,
No,
they
they
never
never.
got this
They
dude.
never got it.
How the frick did he get away in New York? Like, how the hell they found Osama bin Laden in another
The
country?
same
They
way he
couldn't
got a
find
gun
dude
into New
in
York.
New York.
Well, I mean,
I,
that's not. I mean, getting guns into places is probably easy. I mean, let's be real. I mean, we
and just
just had
walking
a
out in a mass
we had
panic is probably
we had
easy
a
too.
teenager who happened to have a gun and cross state lines. And so so having taking guns into another state, it's even if it's illegal, is asinine that people would think that that doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, I
Listen,
mean, I can carry in most states.
if you were
I
law
mean, I could
abiding,
carry in most states, but they all don't have reciprocal agreements. And I heard you
Right,
say that
right.
earlier. Not every state has reciprocal agreements. And when I go, even as
I
close as I
can't
am
go
to
to New
North
York.
Carolina,
yes,
Yeah.
I have to actually make
Eureka,
sure I
Mars,
understand the
we
laws
do
when I
need
go
to
to
get
North
like
Carolina.
Japan. And I've said this and I've said this before. Japan has really substantially proven that when you have less guns, you have less related gun deaths. Okay,
Well,
in
of course, you just have more
2014,
stabbings and beatings.
six people died. Listen, you can listen. You cannot compare apples to freaking oranges. All right.
That's what you just did. You just compared
Because
apples
if
to
you're going to
oranges.
do that, you're going to cause a slippery slope, and there's going to bring forth no solutions. Listen, if the next thing we're talking about is freaking knives, then we'll talk about the knives. But we have knives, and guess what? They're not using the knives; they're using the guns.
But if
We have
we,
knives
if,
right now.
There's more deaths by
Make that make
hammers than
sense.
guns.
No. I really want to know this. Make that make sense. When people say, "Well, there's going to be knives," they do like a hypothetical scenario where there's going
We
to be
have
knives
guns and
cast.
people are beating each other
But
to death
listen,
still.
we have knives right now, millions of them, and no one's using them. They're using guns.
but what is the
I have
solution
knives.
when we're suggesting
If they
gun
can use
law?
if knives were so effective, then why aren't they using them?
I got one on me.
But why are we having mass knife attacks on a daily basis? Why are we having some knife fights? That's not happening.
You've never
But
seen
what are
someone
you
get
guys?
stabbed? I've been stabbed. I got stabbed right in my dang chest.
Yeah, and guess what? You're still talking to me and us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you live to fight another day. So it's
I didn't even know I got stabbed. That's the crazy thing about it. I kept fighting. It's weird to get stabbed.
It's less effective and it's less deadly. That's why it's not a freaking issue.
How effective do you think a gun is in a knife fight?
What don't you understand?
What do you mean how effective is it? I'm lost on that one.
Someone can just run up on you and knife you even if you got a gun on you.
What kind of
Hey, Andrew, can you guys hear me?
Hypotheticals?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I mean, we're saying gun laws here, but we're not putting specifics to it. So what are we suggesting as gun laws? I think we all agree that everyone should have guns, but what are we classifying as regulations?
I believe
we've already got enough.
Regulating the gun laws across the board, it was just something I keep saying.
We can't do more federal stuff.
Having all of these different gun laws is freaking confusing. Okay,
well,
we need to
states'
have
rights.
We need to have.
But I think if we say we're going to have the same gun laws across the board, right? The people that are killing others with guns are criminals. So it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't matter if we just have standard gun laws across the board. If someone's going to kill someone with a gun, they don't care about the law, right? And then we fall into other things where we have right now, per se, an open border, right? And you have people that are going to bring in illegal weapons and who they're going to go in the hands of the criminals. So now I don't think necessarily a standard gun law would stop people from killing
think that
others.
The objective and mission of this country should be to prohibit death. You understand? Death
That's exactly what
is
inevitable. I'm trying to prohibit my death for sure, so I carry a gun.
In fact, while you're holding your gun, you're more than likely going to die from heart disease. Okay,
Exactly.
or cancer even.
Good.
So the
Please. I
objective
hope I have a
of
heart
gun
attack and don't get
control,
shot to death.
the objective
Actually, I
of
don't
gun
want
control,
either.
the objective is just to get our guns under control. They're out of control. 398 million, a lot of them unmarked, even being printed, even things like ghost guns, even things like the black market, even things like strawman purchases.
So you think
These
we
are
should have a
all
registry?
illegal. These are all illegal purchasings of the guns, making
You
sure that people that are being registered under mental illness hospitals, like if you're checked in for mental illness, using red flag laws, if you think that your neighbor, if you see something, you say something. Okay,
Whoa.
if
So
there's a
just
rumor
snitch
that
on
wait,
people?
I can sit here all day and tell you a million ways to stop the next person from dying from the
So
gun.
what happens when
But
so what
while I
happens
do
when your
that, you want
ex-wife
to know
don't
who's in
like
my
you
way?
and
You
she
want to
just
know who's
turns
in
you in
my
and
way?
says you have a
You
red
want to
flag
know who's
law?
in my way as a gun control
I
activist
mean,
by
well,
by
let's be
God's
clear.
will?
Some of
It's
those
all of
laws
these
are in place
law-abiding
for
citizens
other things,
that are
but
doing nothing besides enabling the criminals. Do you understand? If you are not a part of gun control, you are
I'm not
enabling
enabling
these
anybody.
criminals to continue to kill
I'm
civilians,
empowering
and it's
myself and
going
I
to
But
be
want
a
you to be
a
child.
lot of
empowered.
the things that you're
I want you
suggesting
to be
in here,
empowered as
there
well.
currently are in place.
I
So a
think
lot
you
of the
should be
things
able
that you
to.
suggested, we currently
Yeah, and you
have.
want to know what the
Um,
problem is, love? George, you want to know what the
mhm.
problem is? We can have all the laws in the world, but our gun culture is so freaking substantial in this country that you guys would
Yes.
rather argue about why you want to keep your guns instead of
Yes.
making sure that these criminals are not having a gun.
Well,
That's the
I
problem.
don't think a criminal should have a gun, and I don't think
But they
anybody's
do.
arguing on keeping the gun. I think what we're saying here is when we start saying gun laws and regulating, that it's not this loose cannon, and that we think we're going to your point that you made earlier, when the guy was shooting up people in New York, right? And you asked the question, where was somebody else with a gun? Well, that's what
Never
stops other
around.
criminals, other people who have guns. I'm in Texas. I can assure you, if someone starts shooting off in a crowd in Texas, there's probably going to be somebody else in that crowd with a gun that's going to be able to stop them.
You want to know
But we
something?
don't have
The last time I saw somebody intervene, he got shot by a
exactly.
17-year-old named Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh, well,
Well,
they were attacking him. I
Yeah,
I
mean,
no,
that's a
wouldn't call
I'm
silly
it.
not
I
talking
argument.
wouldn't call
about.
it.
I'm not talking about the first one. I'm talking about the second one. Yeah,
What
Well,
the
I
second one, the
mean,
one that hit him in the head with a
I
skateboard?
wouldn't call him intervening.
the
I
one
because
that
he
wouldn't call
just
him
shot
they
doing
talking
intervening.
somebody.
about she's talking about the second one who said, "Oh my God, he shot somebody," and they're chasing him down the road. Yes,
Yes,
Why
that
would you
means
chase
this
someone
man
with
just
an
killed
AR?
somebody with a gun, and he's still
yes,
running down the street with the same gun. Not saying, "Oh, let me shoot this person. I'm gonna drop the gun and say my life was in danger."
right.
But he's still running with the gun. So, of course, if I'm running down the street telling you that this guy just shot somebody else, I'm going to try to
The
prevent
So
him
run
from
up on
shooting
gaslighting,
him.
someone else.
the gaslighting when it comes to
Run up on
Kyle
him then.
Rittenhouse is so substantial. That's the word of the day.
Yeah,
Oh,
Substantial.
I
if you're
mean, I
gonna
ran up
run up
on him.
on
I would have shot
somebody
him.
and
At
he's
this point,
moving,
I mean, I have a gun. So if I saw him shoot somebody and he takes off running and I'm telling him to stop, then I'm going to shoot him. I'm not, I was trying to understand
So
when you
hold
said run
on.
up on him, as if I'm some sort of, as if that's supposed to matter to me that I'm going to run up on
Somebody
him. So
ran
I'm
up
just
on him with a
confused.
Glock. He was being
What?
shot
Because
at. He
he
turned
just
around and
shot
shot somebody.
somebody dead with an
He was being
AR-15 with
shot
over 30
at.
bullets.
He was
He had
being
He's
over
being,
shot
30
at.
bullets. You
oh
He
guys,
was
God.
being shot at.
Kyle
Did you watch the
Rittenhouse had
videos?
over 30 bullets. And he was acting like he was protecting somebody. The only person he protected was, I guess, himself with
Was
over
himself?
30
Yeah,
bullets.
exactly. That's what you do with a gun.
30 bullets? Come on.
yeah.
Y'all
I
think
got
we're
I
20
mean,
in
stupid.
I
just my
think a lot of
handgun.
stuff
You can't play
that
a
Jake
player.
is saying, I may not necessarily agree with a lot of things that Jake is saying, but he does have a point. I mean, when it comes to what he's saying with Kyle Rittenhouse, I mean, I think if this guy, you say he has 30 bullets, right? And
He had
somebody,
30
if we watch
bullets.
the videos,
If
and
someone breaks in my house, I want 30 bullets.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to protect
He
myself
went
with
to
five.
a riot. He went to a place he knew
There
was
was a
going to be
riot.
violence.
Exactly. There was
He
people
went
doing all
there to
kinds of
kill.
wild shit.
He had an
Somebody shot
intention to
at
kill.
him
Right.
in a
So
riot.
what your
He was being
argument is,
shot
Jake,
at.
and I'm
What I'm
trying to
going to
make
tell you
sure
is
I
this.
understand it, is
Let,
you're saying, so if there was something going on, like there was a riot, has nothing to do with me, nothing whatsoever, I can go to that riot and I can start shooting people. That's what you're saying, right?
what I'm telling you
No,
is
But
that is
that's
if
not
not
what
what
I'm
he
Kyle
saying.
did,
Rittenhouse,
though. I
what I'm
mean, he
telling
didn't
you
go
is
That's
to
not
the
this.
what
riot and
happened,
just start
bro.
shooting
What I'm telling you
randomly.
guys is this.
No,
What I'm telling you is this.
not what
Is that
happened.
if Kyle
Okay, so
Rittenhouse,
why take a
what,
weapon to the gun? Why
what,
take
yeah,
a weapon to the riot? Why?
Right,
What
right.
was
Why
his
did
purpose?
everybody take weapons to the
To
riot?
your point,
No, no,
one
no.
of the
We're
Somebody
not
guys
talking
shot
about
him.
everybody else. We're not talking about everybody else. We're talking about Kyle Rittenhouse because that's what you all are seeming to want to bring up. So why did he bring a
Because it's
gun?
his constitutional right.
He was
probably
Right.
for
17
the
So,
years old.
same
He
so
wasn't
reason,
his
supposed to
wife
know he
probably
was
needed
for
his
the
gun.
to
same
leave
reason
his
that the
home
guy who
state, come to that
That way he
location
needed his gun.
with the gun that he had. Right. I'm a
Yeah,
little. So I mean, we're just truly wrapping around our heads in circles.
it
Listen,
is,
probably for
dude.
the
Because
same reason that the guy who pulled a gun on him did. So
exactly.
yeah,
Thank
but
you.
guess what? Guess what? Didn't he shoot off his hand or something like that?
He
Hey
shot off
Jake,
his
can I ask you this?
bicep.
Hey Jake,
Huh?
can I ask you this? If do you think that if Kyle Rittenhouse was a black boy that was 17 years old, would have been able to kill two white people
No.
and shoot off another white dude's
Tupac
hand,
shot cops.
and then on top of that, society giving him $2 million to defend himself?
Oh,
He
you want to
should have
go
had. He
Tupac?
should have had the. He
You
should
want
have
to
had
go
the money.
Tupac? You want to
Yeah,
go Tupac?
Tupac defended himself, didn't he, against cops? Didn't he?
Wait, what? Tupac?
Right. He,
Oh
Am
he
I
really
wrong?
wants to go Tupac.
Am I
we
wrong?
talking about Tupac,
Did that
y'all.
not happen? Is Breonna
now,
Taylor's
I don't know how
boyfriend in
Tupac
prison?
got into this conversation. Now,
Right.
Jake,
I
you
don't
Is
know
is
how
showed
Bre-
me
Tupac
no
got
no
in
no
this
no?
We're
Hey, look.
conversation.
going off the
So
deep end now.
Is
We
did,
talking
I
about
did
like it
Breonna
though. I
Taylor
like it.
did Breonna Taylor's boyfriend go to prison for shooting cops?
What's that have to do with her death?
He defended himself against
why you
cops,
gotta
and
bring up
he is
Breonna
not in
Taylor?
prison.
An
You
innocent
didn't
baby who
answer
got
my
killed by the
question.
cops.
You
Thank
brung
you,
What's
that
sir.
that?
up. So
Yes,
what did him
he
going?
had the
I
right.
know we
He
What
gotta
did
had
that
talk
the
have
about
to do
right
with
to
her
Breonna
death?
defend
Taylor.
himself in his home.
That's not nice.
He had that right. He had that right to defend himself against those police officers. That is a black man who defended himself in his home, and he is not in prison, man.
Kyle Rittenhouse was a 17-year-old who went to a riot with 30 bullets
Talking
and
about.
used it and killed two people and got away with it. And it wasn't even his gun. And in fact, the society gave him $2 million.
Oh
And
my
then the judge
goodness.
was a freaking joke from the beginning. That thing was a freaking circus. Sitting over there,
Did you
sitting right
watch the
next to
actual
a
video
freaking
footage?
accused murderer. Actually, he did kill two people. Let me tell you something. Rosenbaum might have been mentally ill, but at the end of the freaking day, you don't have the right to just execute somebody on sight, especially as a 17-year-old. You don't even know how to wipe your own tail, let
Well,
alone
he knew
take
how to hit
someone's
that
life.
fool, didn't he?
He was not a cop. He wasn't a medic. He was doing a job that he wasn't qualified to do. Everybody talking about Judge
He's a
Ketanji
civilian.
Brown
Nobody should have
Jackson,
been there.
she's
Hold
not
up.
qualified.
Nobody should have
Guess
been
what?
there.
Kyle
There should have
Rittenhouse
been nobody
was
burning
not
things down.
qualified
People
to
were
be
getting
a
killed.
hero
People were
at the
shooting
freaking riot.
guns. People were shooting guns.
So
People shot at him.
he shouldn't have been
Well, if
there.
he wasn't there, he wouldn't have got shot at.
He should have never even been there. In fact, I believe this. I believe if Kyle Rittenhouse never went to that riot,
So,
nobody would have freaking
okay,
died.
look, man. There was people burning shit down by my house during
Listen,
this
I'm
stuff,
not saying
man.
that the riot was okay. I
All right,
saw it. I'm
look,
not saying that I don't condone
look. I
riots.
had
I
a
don't
rifle
condone
with me.
violence. But
I had a rifle.
Okay, well, what did you do with it? You had enough.
Nobody shot at me.
Who shot at Kyle Rittenhouse?
You did not watch the
Because I
videos?
saw the video.
Did you watch the
I saw
videos?
video. I believe it was the cop.
You believe the
Well,
cops shot at
they
Kyle
did
Rittenhouse?
in the video. The guy
You
did
guys just
chase
called me
him
a
down
conspiracy
and then had a
theorist.
gun pulled on him before Kyle Rittenhouse shot him. So, I
Okay.
mean,
Well, do me a
I'm not
favor.
gonna wait to get shot to shoot.
No,
Can you guys do me a
absolutely
favor
not.
though? I really need to know this. Why? Simple question. Why would somebody attack a 17-year-old at a riot?
Exactly. Why would somebody attack a 17-year-old?
Why? What was
Why?
the intent?
You got
of
me.
Shooting, what was the intent of shooting Kyle? You're saying they were trying to harm him. Why?
Because he put out a dumpster fire.
Why?
He put out a dumpster fire.
So he was doing things that night, and I actually watched the whole freaking case.
So then you know.
He was parading around an AR-15 at a riot.
Well, I don't think they started
It
chasing
was
him
a
because he had an
riot.
AR-15. I mean, anybody who would just start chasing somebody because they had an AR-15 would be foolish, knowing that
Well, yeah,
there was
foolish,
a high
or
risk
maybe they
probability of
thought they
being
were
shot.
being a hero. Let me remind you guys what AR-15s have done in this country in the past, let's say, 2 years.
They shoot a lot of bullseyes. That's
And
what
let me tell you something. Let's not be remiss about why the riot was happening in the first place. This was a BLM protest. This was because a man got freaking shot. This was because
after he raped some woman.
BLM.
This is a rapist got shot in his kidneys.
This was a BLM riot. Okay, and it got left. You're talking about a Black Lives Matter protest. Here's a white young guy parading around an AR-15 with a militia,
What's wrong with
obviously
a militia
opposing,
protecting businesses?
And I think, but
protecting businesses as opposed to protecting Black lives.
but
It's
can
funny. It's
we
funny you
can
say that
we
because during the
Andrea,
riots,
Make that
I was
make
standing
sense.
out.
So
It's
you
funny you
care
say
more
that
about a
because
business
hold
than
on,
Black Lives Matter.
I do. Me,
Well, that's
Red,
sad to me
who's a black
because
man, and Zaid,
I would never
who's a
say that about
Muslim.
white
We're
lives.
all
I would
hanging out
never
when that
say
stuff was
that I
going
would
on.
protect. I would never say that I would
Yeah, yeah.
protect
The biz. Guess what?
over a white
My
life.
business, and my livelihood is way more important than you burning it down.
But guess what? Guess what? You should have insurance.
I don't. You think I'm rich?
At the end of the
You think
day,
I'm
if
rich?
you don't have insurance for your business, I don't even think that's legal.
I mean, but
How much? How much?
having
How
insurance doesn't
insurance
give
ain't gonna
somebody a
cover
legitimate
everything.
right to go
At
and
the end
loot
of the
and
day, yeah,
take
but
your
guess what? At
things.
the end of the day, George.
We definitely got off topic for one, but
Well,
hey,
no. This is all about the
nobody has
gun.
the
This is
right to
about the
burn other
gun
people's
culture.
things down, especially
Well,
people who had nothing to
because you
do
know
with what
what?
those cops did.
At the end of the day,
Do you think the
there
people who
is
had those
a
businesses were like, heck yeah, let's go shoot black people? No, they weren't thinking that. Nobody was thinking that. And after George Floyd, everybody was against the police. Everybody. Until the riots started happening. And then people were like, hold on, why are we burning things down? Everybody wanted to put that cop in jail. Everybody. There was not a single person who watched that video and said, he deserved it. Not a single human that I
There were
met
actually
in my
there were
life.
quite a few. There were quite a few who said he did nothing wrong. There were quite a few
The
in
cop?
this country, quite a few in this country.
look. You
Well,
care more
those
about
people
your
are probably
buildings.
the
You don't.
same.
You don't care about Elijah McClain.
The
You don't care
extreme
about
other
Michael
version
Brown. You
of what
don't care
she's
about
saying about
Trayvon
Kyle
Martin.
Rittenhouse.
You don't care
There's
about
always
Breonna
going to be
Taylor.
people
You
who are
don't care
stupid.
about all the black people that have died for the past freaking 400 years over injustices here in America. So excuse me, you got a building that
My
was
God,
freaking
yes, I
burned down.
do.
Well, let me tell you something. Excuse me that you
But
want to
Andrea,
protect
I
your
think
building,
too, a
but
lot of
I
people.
should have the right. I should have the right, and we all should have the right to protect our people from being mistreated here in this country.
Exactly. Lock and load, girl.
I think we agree,
Lock
but
and
I
load.
think
Do you
what
understand
we're
what that would
I,
mean?
I
What?
think we're
What
focusing
would that
on
mean?
Cal Rittenhouse being white and he did something during the riots, but there were also other people that were hiding in the riots that were white that were doing things to inflame those riots as
That's
well.
true.
That were
Absolutely.
not to the
And
benefit of the actual movement.
That's
It
true.
actually deflected from the movement.
100%.
So
You're
100%.
right.
when we
There,
say that
we do
Cal
not
Rittenhouse shot
denying that.
people, some of the people that contributed to Cal Rittenhouse shooting people were white people that were in those riots, flaming things that had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. So there were people on both sides. There were the cause of
Yeah,
what happened.
Oh
that's
yeah,
true. That's true. Um, so back to the point
but
of talking about Kyle Rittenhouse is the mere
but
fact that people just go so hard for the gun. You understand?
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
by saying, "Oh God, well, there's all these laws, and yet people are still going to be criminals." Can I ask you this? What does that fix? By saying that, what does that fix?
what does more laws fix? That's what I ask. Why do we want the government to
Who
have
said
more
anything
control
about
over
laws?
our lives?
Listen, it's not just
You're
about
not
laws.
taxed enough.
We have got to take a
We
holistic approach. That means we
taxed
have to
enough.
look at all of the reasons why. Listen, I've said this and I've said this before. It really just depends what demographic you're in. And I can tell you how you're gonna die by the gun at this point. Okay? Because there are some people that are dying from mass shootings. There are some people dying from suicidal shots. There are some people that are dying from intimate partner deaths. Like, do you guys do your homework at all? Like, there are some people that die accidentally. So just by educating people on how to protect themselves, there's people that die because their parents are just reckless and are just ignoring their kids and neglecting them and letting them play around with a gun because they think it's like, it's not going to kill them. The safety's on, but they've been teaching the kid how to play with the gun
No.
on the street.
I have
The kid
never
knows how to
left a
take a
firearm
kickball.
out for my children to play with.
Guess
No,
what? There's a lot
there's
of
some
people that
people too,
there's a lot of
and there
people
was
that go
actually
to camp
somebody in this
and
live
have
probably about
only
a month ago who actually said that they leave their gun out so their kid knows to go use it. There literally
well, that's
somebody said that.
a lot of people here have really concerned me with their kids.
So
Why
you're
do you think
talking about some
I go so
Darwinism then?
hard? I just
I say
cannot
again,
believe that
So
if
you're
you
talking
are
about some Darwinism then?
Jake, how do
Like
you
anybody
explain
who would do
accidental
that,
deaths?
come on, man. That's
yeah, well,
wild. That's wild shit. That's wild.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm
Huh?
Can
listening.
a gun go off on its own?
No. Well, unless it's a SIG
Right.
P320.
Yeah, unless it's a safety issue or they messed up. No.
Have you ever heard of somebody accidentally killing themselves?
Yeah, they put their finger on a
Yes.
trigger.
I'm telling you, I read that this dude freaking accidentally killed himself. Drunk.
Okay, so he was
So,
drunk handling a firearm.
red flag
That's like
laws.
101. You don't do that. Red
Okay.
flag laws are horrible.
Oh, are
Have you
you
read them?
kidding me?
Have you read them? Have you read the law?
I'm pretty sure
Have
red
you
flag
read it
laws
though?
is a precautionary
I've read it.
measurement that people can
I've read it.
use in order to intervene before someone pops off.
So
So when a
we,
red flag,
so
for those
it's
of
like
you
that.
guys who don't know what red flag laws will do, if you're in a situation like, let's say, 57 women died a month in this country from intimate partner deaths. If you're in a situation and you have a girlfriend that's being beaten, and you listen, we all know somebody that could need some help. Okay, red flag laws will allow a cop or an official to go into the home and take the gun out of the home. It doesn't
Why
take the
wouldn't they
gun
take the person
ownership.
out of the home?
It doesn't take the gun ownership from the gun from
Or it
the.
doesn't take the abusive person out of the home either.
That's when a restraint. But listen, so
They
basically,
should be taking that person to jail.
they take
They
the
shouldn't be
gun
making
out of
laws about
the
my
situation.
guns. Take
They
that
take
person to jail if they're hurting that woman.
they take the gun out
It's
of the
still illegal to hurt
situation.
her.
They take the gun out of the situation, and therefore the person has to go into court, and they have to, get their gun back. Now, if in that home there has been a domestic violence case where somebody was called because there was abuse, do you think
You
that
have to
judge is going
prove
to?
that you've never
Do
been in
you
a
think?
domestic case just to get a gun. In order to purchase a firearm, if you have any domestic battery on your record, you do not get a gun. It's
How many
already illegal
people
for domestic
become
abusers to get a
abusers?
Legally.
gun.
How many people
Legally.
become abusers
Yeah,
after
exactly.
the gun? So you can get a gun and not be abusive, and then become abusive.
True that.
Yeah,
Or you
that's
can
true.
hide it.
So
There's women that put on makeup after they get beat that people don't even know that they're in that situation. That's very
That's
true.
true. Very
Yeah.
much so.
But it doesn't stop the abuser from being abusive.
listen, what don't you understand about precautionary measures and protocols can
We
save a
have
life?
them. We have laws. We have precautionary
So
measures.
basically, the
People do
person that
wild
went to
shit.
New
Well,
York,
I hear what you're saying, Andrea, but I think that there are 2 points here. You're making a great point, and Jake is making a great point. So yes, they need to take the gun. That's number one. So yes, we need to have somebody going in and taking the gun, but it also needs somebody. If there is a domestic dispute going on, then we also need to go in and get that person and take their ass to jail. So yes, we can take the gun all day because they shouldn't have it because they are presenting a danger to not only themselves but to the person that they are brutally beating. But that person needs to go to jail. So I think the two are working hand in hand, but I think that the law is just so specific to one thing that I think it should then open up. If the true facts are, if this person we understand this person is dangerous, they're using a gun, we'll take the gun and then take them too. That's what the law should say.
I think that's what they do. Actually, I was
And
just
I
trying to
also
explain
think people should
what the
have a
red
path to
flag
redemption
laws
too.
would do. I'm a DV survivor, okay, and there was a knife involved one time. And let me tell you something. I grabbed it and he took it right out of my hand. But guess what? I was not stabbed by it. If there was a gun, I might have gotten shot. The whole point is to make sure that there's intervention. You guys are gang banging on intervention?
Who
Not
me?
gang banging on
Yeah,
nothing.
gang banging on intervention.
I'm saying no more laws, no more new laws. We already have all
You
the
brought
laws we need.
listen. You brought no solutions. All you did was freaking brick wall every type of freaking
No, I said look, solutions
idea
are in the
I brought
community.
forward.
Solutions
People are
are in the
desperate.
house, in the household.
This ain't a game. Listen, I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you this right now.
but
I'm
then
gonna tell you this
those
right now.
solutions don't
I
work
really hope
if that
that you
household
are
is
in
not
a
thinking the same
situation.
way.
I really
Absolutely,
hope
but people
that
do crazy
everybody that comes
things.
here and combats my ideas, because I got a lot of them. And I really hope that you guys aren't the next person on the subway. I really hope not. I really hope that you don't have your kids next in the school when another shooting happens. I really hope that you're not going to freaking Walmart and going shopping. I hope that you're not the next one without your gun and you're gonna think maybe, just maybe,
Oh, I won't be
some of these
without it.
preventative measurements could have saved your life or family members. It's not about you.
It's always on me, and I've never shot anybody. I don't get in fights. I
Me
don't talk
neither.
shit. I don't do.
I. That is my problem with people that are pro-gun instead of pro-gun control. It's the mere fact that when you say I, you're only thinking about yourself. When I come here, I think about everybody. I think about you. I think about all the people that come here and share their thoughts. I think about the next kid that's going to die in the next, hour and 52 minutes. What can we do as society to be a part of the solution instead of brick walling every type of freaking idea to combat the problem?
Well,
How
the
will we
thing is, though,
ever resolve this in our country when all people
well,
do, left and right, is get in the way of gun control?
so, and I said this to you before, and I remember this, and you remember this because you were born in the 80s, but um,
Yeah.
you remember when that probably is actually before the 80s, but you remember when black people started to, I'm just gonna be, I'm not, so those people who are in the comments, I'm just making sure it's clear, I'm not race baiting, but I'm just making sure that it's made clear. You all remember when guns was not such a big thing, but as soon as black people started to get guns, we had tougher gun laws.
But why?
Because the
Because
fact that gun control has always been used to oppress and put down people. It's always been designed specifically to prevent the American, or not really the American, but just the general populace not tied or related to the government from being able to defend themselves against criminals and potentially even the government. Anytime you look back in history in which a government has attempted to either control or limit the amount of weapons that a people or a populace can get a hold of, or take it from them altogether, they have done absolutely horrible atrocities to them. Look at Nazism, Hitler, right? The first thing he did was convince the people to take the weapons away from the Jews. Then from there, it was take the weapons away from the general people. So that way then, Germany as a whole could be brainwashed and kept from being able to fight against
How's
Nazi
that working
Germany.
out in Ukraine?
Same
How's that
thing.
working out in Ukraine?
How's that working in Ukraine?
How's that working out in Ukraine?
It's
They got
actually
guns.
working great because
You
the
don't think they
government's
have guns
giving
in
them
Ukraine?
guns.
You don't think they have guns in
actually
Ukraine?
working. It's actually working great because the government is now
No,
giving the people
not really.
guns.
Not really.
Because the
A lot
government
of
is
people
giving
are
them
dying.
guns.
Do you guys hear what's been happening in Ukraine?
Yes, actually, I was actually one of the people that was actually getting ready to go out and volunteer because I was prior
You
service.
were about
and then they
to.
shut down the
You're
program.
about
Yes,
to.
they shut down the program. They shut down the program. I even have several videos on my page stating, "Hey, if you want to join me, this is how you can do it. This is
I
where
say
I'm going.
let you
This is
go.
where I'm going to be going."
Listen,
We are
it
literally
is
sending
not. You
guns.
made your point. You made your point. You want to blame this imaginary tyrannical government that we don't have. Cool beans, bro. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm African American woman. Cool beans, bro. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm African American woman, proud to be African American. But I'm gonna tell you this: we are not all cut from the same cloth. There are criminals out there, okay? And there are white people also that are criminals. It is us.
Yeah.
We are the freaking problem. There are criminals, and let me tell you something. If we weren't criminals and we were living in a utopic society that I wish that we could have one day, which will never freaking happen until we all die and go to heaven. Let me tell you something. You could have 1,000,000 guns and nobody would use them for killing each other. We would use them because we'd be hunting. We would be using them because of sport. We wouldn't be using it to freaking kill each other. I believe.
Do you know what percentage of illegally owned
the
guns?
problem?
Do you know what percentage of illegally owned guns are using crimes?
The problem is us.
So the question is, how are you going to put gun laws on illegal gun owners? How are you going to do that?
I don't believe that there are any legal gun owners. I'm an extremist.
Illegal.
I don't.
You don't
really
think there?
I have zero tolerance for the gun, and also
wait, so
I have
you
common
do
sense
not
to know.
think that there
I have
are
common
any
sense to know that
illegal...
Japan has zero tolerance. Haji Mashite. Japan has zero tolerance of the gun, and they have substantially dropped their gun-related deaths. In 2014, 6 people died. 6.
Japan also
and I don't
has
care about your whataboutism. Nobody's talking about the knives. Ain't nobody worried about the
Japan
goddamn
also
knives,
has extremely strict
you cannot
laws
use
revolving
whataboutisms.
around gang activity.
What
so
about
they
the
also
knives?
have extremely strict laws around tattoos all of that stuff because of the fact
And
that
that's
in Japan,
whataboutism. We're not talking about tattoos. We ain't
that's
talking about
not
no
whataboutism. Because you
XYZ.
clearly have
We're
never been to
talking
Japan. I
about
have, so
the
I can
gun.
explain to you exactly. Yes,
You
and I'm
can't
about
do
to explain to you
whataboutism.
how all of that. It's not whataboutism. I'm about to explain to you
It
how
is a
all of that ties in.
whataboutism.
No, it's not. Because you clearly don't understand the law system of Japan. Because I've actually been to Japan. It's
Okay,
not
you
just
have.
their
Well,
gun
I'm from
laws that
Hawaii,
contribute.
which is like a miniature Japan, and
No, it's
also,
not. Oh my God, I've been
actually,
to Hawaii. I've
excuse
been
me,
to Hawaii too, and it's not the same either.
excuse me.
I've
Are you
been to
kidding
Hawaii
me?
too, and it is not a mini
Okay,
Japan.
well, I'm from Hawaii my whole life.
I've
So
been to
let me tell
fucking
you this.
Hawaii.
Let me tell
I've
you
been
this.
to
Let me
Japan.
tell you this.
They are not the same. They are not
It
even
is
remotely the same.
very similar. Let me tell you
No,
this.
it's not. It is.
Okay,
I can
I'm
tell
sorry.
you. You've clearly never been to Japan, so how are you going to tell me, somebody who's
Are
been
you
to Japan,
kidding
that it's the
me?
same?
Are
How
you
are you going
serious,
to tell me
bro?
it's the same? Are you serious, bro? How are you going to tell me it's the same? How are you going to tell me
Okay,
it's the same?
because you can't have a conversation. Okay, and don't ever tell me where I've been because you don't know where
You
I've
haven't.
been.
You haven't. You clearly haven't.
Okay, listen, I can
You
call
even
10 or 15 of my friends and my niece in Japan.
That's
Okay,
like a racist saying that he can't be racist because he knows black people. I'm sorry, that's not how that works. Just because you know people that have been there doesn't mean you
yeah,
actually
but
know
guess
anyone
what?
there.
Mere fact is, even though you're trying to derail my point, which is this, they have lessened their gun violence related deaths because
Yes,
they
and
have
it's not
zero
just
tolerance.
because of their gun
And guess
control.
what?
It's not
Guess
just
what?
because of their gun
Whether you
control.
like it
You
or
don't know
not,
the laws in
whether
Japan.
you like it or not, it works. So it's a proven method.
It's not just
Goodbye.
because of their gun
Good
control.
day. See ya. Next.
Hey, how's
Jamil,
it going?
so
Hi.
you man.
Oh wait, was someone ahead of me?
No, you go
What?
ahead.
Was Rowell ahead of me?
No,
Hey,
I'm
how's
here.
it
You
going?
go ahead.
Let me remind
How
you
y'all
guys.
doing?
Let me just say this while people just want to come here and just debate, which is fun. I love it. I think it's just fun for me. But at the end of the day, while we're having fun, remember 10 people got shot today. 10 people going on the
I'm
subway in Brooklyn. So are you a part of the solution or are you a part of the problem?
Well, neither. Neither. I don't think. I don't know. I was just gonna make a quick statement that I agree that there's a lot of gun crime and deaths in this country,
Is that
and
fact?
well, it is a fact, and it's a problem. I'm not gonna fight you on that at all. Like that side of a coin of you know laws of gun laws, right? So that's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is there's 20 million veterans in this country, and there's a lot of people in this country. There's probably somewhere in the 300 millions of assault rifles in this country. There's a lot. There's more than there are people, I
398
think.
million. Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes us the largest standing army in the world, and
But
it
ain't
makes us
nobody
safe.
arming nothing.
It makes us safe
When
from
you
sentiment.
let me just say, we are not active duty. I'm also a military brat. How do you think I was born in Alaska, raised in Hawaii? Now I live in freaking Connecticut. Let me tell you something. In order to be a part of an army, you gotta freaking be in the army. You gotta take the
Yeah,
test. You gotta go to boot camp, and you gotta
there's
have a
20
uniform.
there's 20 there's 20 million veterans, combat ready
And they ain't
veterans.
doing a
Like
dang
it's the
thing.
largest
They
standing
ain't doing
army.
a dang thing.
They're
Tell me
not
one
because we
veteran
have them.
that stopped a shooting from happening today.
I'm not going to say that they did because they didn't, but I'm saying that they having it's like having a nuke, right? You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to use it for it to be effective
Colin, I'm
at
done
its
with you.
job, which is deterring other people from using one. You know what I mean? It's a deterrent. Like 20 million armed American veterans is a deterrent, and it's the other side of the coin. Like it gives us safety from something else, and that's all I'm saying. I agree with you too. So
You know, at the end of the day, it just becomes more and more prevalent that nobody wants to do anything pertaining to the gun laws. You know, when I saw, like in Michigan, Oxford, those beautiful teenagers that have died,
got shot because the dad, right, bought the gun on Black Friday and gave it to his son. I'm telling you right
Mm-hmm.
now, I'm a parent. I don't know if you're a parent, but could you imagine getting a call like that at lunchtime?
It would be like that.
That
It's
some
horrible.
punk kid
I'm not
thought that they could
saying,
just take out your kid's life. Your kid that was unarmed.
yeah. And then some people would even write a song about it after they did it. That's the world we live in.
So
You know what I mean?
what I'm saying is, being that I live in Connecticut, I live near Sandy Hook, and when it happened, I was at work, and my daughter was in the same grade as those kids, and now she's in ninth grade. Those kids are supposed to be in ninth grade. I'm talking about a class of like what 20 kids, babies, dead,
I'm
dead.
on.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I see
And
both
to
sides
the,
of the coin. You know what I mean?
and
And
to
you
the
guys
person
want to sit
in the
here and be
comments,
talking
I need to
about,
address you because you're just weird.
criminals will be criminals.
So,
Listen,
Sweet Mother 32, this whole thing. That's why these people get on my nerves when they say this. You always want to bring politics into it. It doesn't. Let's be clear. Republicans haven't done anything about gun control. Democrats haven't done anything about gun control. So let's stop talking about Republicans and Democrats, because at the end of the day, none of them care about us as
well,
individual
Biden,
people.
I have to say, Biden, I did see he started to tackle down on things. I don't know why the focus is on ghost guns. I don't know why. Ghost guns are the focus, maybe because that's how the criminals are getting them. But this is what I think we should do. I think we should have a gun database. I think we should sweep the streets. Just I don't care. Like if there are more than, let's say, 3 gun related shootings in a proximity, I think that there needs to be a doubling of policing as well as doubling of enforcements. I'm talking about the best of the best. Maybe volunteers from the National Guard. We should have no tolerance until our country is safe again. We got to get the military involved, the National Guard, because they're supposed to be protecting us nationally, right?
You know.
Or how about allocating for
Yeah,
civil
from foreign
police?
enemies.
I would love to be like, listen, I would love to be a part of red flag laws or civil policing. Like if there was like a way, like right now, so many people need jobs. Could you imagine in like a town ship, you could volunteer?
And those of you, so either way, I don't care however you vote. Particularly, I don't really care. Let's be clear about a few things. Donald Trump could care less about this country. If you're saying about Joe Biden doesn't care, then Donald Trump sure as hell doesn't care about this country. So let's be clear about that. Let's be real clear. And to those of you who say you know Donald Trump, you probably actually don't know Donald Trump. You don't know the real Donald Trump. I want you to walk up to Donald Trump. If you think you know this man, I promise you, you go to see this man right now, he'll look at you like you stupid because he wonder why you talking to him. So all of you can sit up here talking about you love some Trump 2024.
They love
Go
Trump. They
find you
don't care
some
what he
Trump
does.
2024, and I promise you, he'll look at you like you the peasant from the bottom of the scum of the earth. I promise you that.
That's
I
funny
don't care.
that's so funny. The same people that are talking about how police are
I
over
on
policing.
a quick note, I didn't really want to get into
My thing is,
politics too much. I just wanted to make a simple point. Thanks for having me on, though.
Thank you for coming.
He left.
my thing is, you people are talking about how bad police are. That they're going after black people. They're attacking. You want to go after people's gun rights and take it away. So how can you say, oh, police should go out and take people's guns away and take their rights away, but they're going after black people and taking their rights away? How can you have a double standard? Either you're for the
What are you
police.
what are you talking about?
She was talking about people going to take people's gun rights away, taking people's guns away. How can you be okay with that? But then you're mad police are going after Breonna Taylor, mad at Michael Brown, people mad about this and that. It's like, okay, but you're doing double standards there, because how can you say one's right and one's wrong? People should have
Listen,
either have their rights or not.
So I think
listen.
you're equating two different topics,
He's
but
No,
making
I'm
it
not.
okay.
racial.
No, I'm
And
not,
let me
because
tell you
their
something.
gun rights are in the Constitution. We have a right to bear arms. We have a
Okay,
right.
but do you have a right to be mentally ill
Yeah,
and bear
but
arms?
you're
Do you have a
the
right to be a
second
criminal and bear
Second
arms?
Amendment cannot conflict with the First Amendment. So I'm a little confused why you keep bringing that up. So I just want I'm making sure that you understand how that works. But go ahead. Sorry,
Okay,
Justin. Go ahead.
if you, but if you want people to have their rights, if you want to have the First Amendment rights, then they should have the Second Amendment rights. They're both equally equated. You can't just say, oh, well, no, you can't. You can't have First Amendment or you can't have the Second Amendment, because the Second Amendment defends your First Amendment. If you take away that right, if you say the police can't go out and take people's guns, or they can, then why they shouldn't be able to do whatever they want to do? Basically saying they can go out and take people's guns rights, well, then they can basically go out and do and kill whoever they want. You basically say that's what you're saying, because if you don't have your rights, your gun rights, or your freedom of speech, or your whatever, then police can do whatever. So you have to. There should be that line, no matter.
Why do you think, Justin, that gun control, which is a part of hopefully society's construct, a societal construct, right? Where we are trying to make precautionary measurements so that we are all safe publicly. Gun gun violence is like a public crisis. And let me tell you this,
Okay.
on a racial standpoint, white men are dominating suicide by the gun. So if you want to talk about gun control, we've got to talk about mental illness as well. Okay, we need more normalization of people talking about what's going on with their cognitive process, thoughts
Okay,
and
but
things.
there's millions of Americans that have guns for all their life and never shot a single person. There's
Okay, then they're not the
millions and
issue.
millions. So we shouldn't all be responsible. The gun laws.
But we
Okay,
are.
no, but we're not. Okay, so gun laws are the only crime you can do where you can go out and shoot somebody and they blame every gun owner. Every other crime, if I go stab somebody, they're not going to take away knives from everybody. If I go run somebody over with the car, they're not going to take cars away. But
Okay,
every time somebody gets shot by a gun,
listen,
you want to take away all guns away. That's the problem there. That's
your
the problem
first
there.
part. You have a point. I can see when you say, like, okay, so there was a gun shooting, so now people are part of gun control activism are saying, what should we do? But the problem is this, Justin, is that there is a fear of infringement of the right to bear arms. That is not gun control.
It is. If you start taking away guns, people's
So
right
if
to own
people
arms.
that were law abiding and pro constitutional rights to bear, they would be for criminals not being able to have access to the gun and mentally ill not being able to have access to the gun. So you should be doing everything everything physically possible, and mentally possible to be involved as a law-abiding citizen with your gun to make sure that maybe you are there to create some type of a system in place that gets these criminals away from the gun, as well as making sure that these, like, I have a solution. Parents need to have extreme consequences for letting their kids hold their gun. Extreme consequences. And I don't care, well, he was playing with it or he accidentally. If your kid gets a gun and he's under 21, you're going to jail.
Okay, but see, the thing is, if you start going down that slope of, oh, well, criminals can't own guns, somebody mentally ill can't own guns, somebody this and that. See, you can go to very fine restrictions. Say, oh, if this person does this, oh, they can't own a gun. So you can really restrict guns. That's the problem.
Restrictions?
If you start saying,
well, why do you need a gun anyway?
Protect yourself. There's criminals out. You never
protect yourself from who? So you don't want it for sport. You don't want it for hunting. You want it to protect yourself.
Yes, so, protection. That's what the Constitution is about. Protecting yourself from criminals.
Okay.
Criminals.
So wouldn't it make more
well,
sense?
The Constitution doesn't say that, but okay.
Make more sense.
The Constitution does say you have a right to bear arms. It does say
no, it know what exactly it says, right to bear arms, but it says nothing about criminals. So you said that, but I want to make sure that you're not putting the information out there. You can say that it is the right to bear arms, but it is not for what you just said.
Okay, but you can. Okay, it's actually for tyrannical government, but it's become that you have a right to protect yourself from criminals.
Ain't no tyrannical government nowhere ever since freaking black people were in chains and
that's the problem. Is you're blinded by the government. You're into Joe and all that, saying, "Oh, they're okay. Joe can do everything, and Trump can do anything, and so and so can do anything, so it's okay." That's the problem. You know how much the government gets away with? That's what you're blind to. Is how much? Look at all these crimes that Joe got away with.
Our government just gave us money.
They gave you money, so it's okay that they do crimes. That they
ain't
do.
Trying to tyrannical nothing.
You think you're not tyrannical? Then you're crazy.
Justin, you said crimes that who got away with in the government. I want to make sure I hear
Joe, like Maxine Waters, like Nancy Pelosi. All these people got away with a bunch of crimes.
Okay, but I didn't hear. All I heard was Democratic names. I haven't heard one Republican name, so I want to hear some of those as well.
There are some Republicans.
There are quite a few. There are quite a few. And we're not even talking about just in the Trump administration. I'm going further back than that. So even if we can talk about the Trump administration since you brought up the Biden administration, but let's be clear and be open about all of those folks, not just one side.
Let's talk about Joe. You know, the big difference is Joe never got tried for anything. Trump got tried and he was found not guilty. Joe's never been tried. Joe has never been tried for any of his crimes. He's been accused of Trump. But I know you guys are going to jump because you're Democrat. Oh, but Joe this and Joe. I'm
sorry. So because are you referring to?
You love Joe. You're referring Joe's to racist. It's okay. Joe was the one that denied black students busing to white schools.
Let's be clear about a few things. Let's be clear about a few things, Justin.
But that's okay. Oh, but racism, right? Racism.
Trump was impeached twice, so I want to make sure that's clear. Trump was impeached twice.
Impeachment, not guilty. Impeachment doesn't mean you're guilty. Impeachment means you're accused of a crime and not guilty. Found not guilty 3 times.
So have a KKK outfit.
Actually, he's only been impeached twice. I don't know where you get the third time from. Maybe you should go back and reread again. But
they tried. They when. Okay, remember when January 6th, they tried to convict him of that too, remember? And he wasn't even the president. They tried to convict him the third time they tried to get him for
that's the second time. That's the second time.
No,
that's
the third time. They tried to get him for
the second one. The first time was when he tried to hold up the law that Congress had already passed.
No, it was with the when they tried to get him for that with the what's her name? The prostitute lady. They tried to accuse him of having sex outside of marriage. They tried to accuse him of that too. And that was the third time they got him. You didn't hear about that? You didn't know what was her name? I forget the name.
We're talking about guns. Y'all talking about Trump.
Because I don't want people spouting false information out there. We can have a conversation, but I think that we need to make sure we're not giving platforms to people for misinformation.
Right, that's true.
I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Let's not give misinformation on either side.
That's true. Listen, at the end of the day,
3 times they tried to impeach him.
Listen, he was sued by Fair Housing.
It was 2, but okay.
No, it was 3.
He was sued. Let's talk about Trump.
His father was sued. Okay, no, let's be honest. His father was sued. His father was sued because he denied people in the apartment. That wasn't Trump. That was Trump's father, and Trump was in business with his father, but he wasn't. His father was sued.
Things that Trump has said about black people.
You know, Trump left college money and business money for businesses, and Joe denied that. Let's talk about that. Joe denied the black business.
What colleges? What colleges? Go ahead. I want to hear this one. What colleges did
Obama created that? Not
right.
Not Trump.
No, it was Trump.
Obama did
that. Yeah, you guys always Obama did.
So. That tells me right there how you have never read any laws, anything whatsoever.
He didn't do anything for you. See, I'll tell you.
That tells me, Justin. I think it's hilarious I think it's hilarious when I have people who come on to people's lives and make statements, but have never actually gone and read anything. You've never read anything. That's just like people always trying to say, "Well, Obamacare is awful." Well, did you ever read the first initial? No. Have you read the first initial bill that President Obama sent to Congress?
Poor people.
Have you? I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question, Justin. Have you ever read the first initial draft that President Obama sent Congress? Have you ever read it?
Can anybody?
Why do you like Obama? Tell me. Actually,
I'm not talking about asking liking Obama. Let's be clear. I'm asking you a specific question. I'm asking you a specific question. Have you ever read the first draft that President Obama sent to Congress? Have you ever read? Yes or no?
I know what they put out as far as Obamacare.
I'm not asking you that. I'm
I know what
asking you, have you
Obamacare
read the
did.
first
Obamacare
draft? I'm
only
going to keep saying it
benefited
again.
the poor.
We've been running
The
this
poor,
country
the poor
for over a
people
year now.
in the
That's
United
what Joe
States, they
Biden.
benefited. Many of the middle
Okay, so
class suffered from
apparently
Obamacare.
you didn't. So apparently you didn't read the first draft. So
I know
apparently you
what
have no
happened.
leg or fight in this conversation.
Okay, but you
So
can't argue that. You can't argue that because many middle class said they suffered from Obamacare. Their doctors wouldn't accept it because they didn't
you did again. I'm
because of
asking you.
Obamacare.
I'm going to ask it one more time to
You
make
can't.
sure
Can
that
you
I'm
answer that?
clear.
Can you answer that first? Can you answer? Did people not suffer under
We
Obamacare?
need to get
Middle
back to
class.
the guns because
Ask many people that
y'all
suffer from
be
middle class.
trumping for
Yeah,
Trump.
can we go back
And
to the
he's
guns?
been gone. Reason for reason, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's
We can
up?
hear you.
All right. The shooting, right?
Yeah.
What area in the Bronx and Brooklyn did it occur at? Like where?
I'll give you the exact location. Let's see here. New York police mounted an intense manhunt Tuesday on a gunman who set off a smoke bomb, as we know, and opened fire in New York subway car, injuring at least 70 people in the morning rush hour attack that prompted new calls to fight surge of violence in the city's transit system. Police said the perpetrator was seen wearing a gas mask and was believed to have acted alone, immediately fled. This sounds like a terrorist again. I want to emphasize.
Mm-hmm.
The attacker has a Manhattan-bound subway train on the in line of the underground rail system was pulling into the station in the Brooklyn Sunset Park neighborhood. You know where that's at?
No. Brooklyn Sunset neighborhood. Is that in the ghetto or what?
Oh, so listen, I'm in Connecticut, so I don't know.
I mean, look. Okay. If he, they're saying that he was black, 5'5", wearing a red hoodie.
So it was
okay,
a black
he was
man.
black. Okay, that's what they say. It was a black man. I'm not sure.
I didn't know that yet. I thought they didn't know who it was. You said it was a black.
They don't know who it is. So I'm a little confused too.
That's what they're saying in the comments, that he was a black man.
Oh, I don't read anything in the comments half the time. I mean, some people just really are not sure.
All right, so I have a question, right? So, would you agree that poverty is a correlation indicator of gun violence?
Yes.
No.
And also an indicator of mental health.
Yes.
So absolutely.
Are you saying, okay, so let me make sure I understood what you were saying, reason, and I'll let you get back. So are you, you asked two separate ones. So you're saying, do we believe poverty is the reason for gun violence? And then you said, is mental health the reason for gun violence, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, like they're also like intertwined because of, for example, right? Like if you're living in a fucked up situation, where and there's violence as well, that can also transfer mental health issues as well. Yeah. Don't you agree?
That I do agree. Yes.
Yeah. So shouldn't we be more focused on people's situation and rather than the guns?
No,
because you don't think so?
Time is of the essence.
You said what?
Do you know this terminology? Time is of the essence.
Explain it to me. I've heard it, but I don't know what it means.
Okay, so we use that in business and real estate.
Okay.
So time of the essence means there's a time restraint. Okay, and because people are dying at such rapid rates at this point in our country, we've got to get the tool that's being used that's killing people first.
Right.
But while we're doing that, when we take a holistic approach, I believe that if there is more progress for people with mentally ill, I just went through a breakup and I felt so good. I got to go on here and just talk to you guys. I felt a little crazy myself.
Right.
Transition. Just talking to people when you're going through something, having a FaceTime experience with a psychologist. I know Dr. Phil has something but is it easy to access? TikTok is so easy. Anybody can go on TikTok and talk. What if there was a platform like TikTok where it was for mentally ill, where people could just talk about what they're going through with professionals, or hell, with just somebody that wants to lend an ear? You understand? Or having psychiatrists being able to easily give them medicine or give them help. You know how many freaking people out here are going through mental illness and they're even afraid to talk about it. Let's normalize it. Make mental illness not cool, but cool to talk about. Okay, so getting people medicated, making sure that when people are having signs, even, being able to get the help that they need, and if that's free medical insurance, so that they can get all the stuff that they need, then so be it. Okay, but money also has a lot to do with it. I believe in the Black community more so than anything. I
Right.
don't think that mental illness really affects Black people the way that it does white people for some reason. This is just my
Wait, 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 wait,
um
wait, 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 wait. You
Boy,
said
no.
you
I
said you don't think
listen.
it affects
I
mental
believe
health. Mental health
no.
affects Black
What I'm
people
saying pertaining
a
to the
lot.
gun,
Yes.
pertaining to the gun,
Okay.
because we are part of homicidals. We're part of the homicide part of the gun crime, not
Yes.
freaking suicides. We are
But
not
but
dominating suicidal deaths via the gun. That is
but do
not
you
us
think? But do you
at
think?
all.
Do you think
But
homicides contribute to mental health and as well as poverty as well? Because if we're 50% of the homicides, right, and we live in the disenfranchised
No,
area,
I don't
wouldn't that
care.
would so that wouldn't so you're saying that
What
Black
I'm
people don't
saying is
have
that when
mental
Black
health
people
as the
go
same?
mentally ill, when Black people get mentally
Yeah,
ill, I don't know, they probably do drugs or some shit. I don't think they want to pick up a
we
gun and
commit
kill somebody.
we commit the
Really? What about gang
homicides.
shootings? What about gang shootings?
People are
oh,
gang
please
Gang
get off that
shootings?
bangers.
gang shooting
Let's talk
shit.
about gang shootings because you black
Yeah,
people
let's
don't
talk
go out and
about
shoot
it.
people.
Because let me
So
tell you
let's talk
this,
about
I'm
gang
not going to sit
shootings.
here
Let's talk
and
about
name the
criminal
white
black
people.
violence in
I
the
don't
Is
name
he
ghetto.
back? I
the
thought he
white
was
people. I
quiet
don't
for a
do that.
moment.
Let me say
Do you
this.
think?
Let me say this. Let
Uh-huh.
me
Uh-huh.
say
Because
this.
people say,
Let me
Okay.
say
well,
this.
she's saying that only black people don't pick up guns. That's not true. Black people, white people, all kinds of people shoot pick up guns.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you is Black people have normalized gang culture.
Really? What about the
It's
gang music?
in,
What
it's
about rap
in,
music glorifying gangs?
we have normalized
How do you
gang banging,
how do you know what
gang
it is?
killing
Are you
You
culture.
listening
said
to
you,
it?
you said we
No,
I've
normalize
heard
I
it.
don't
I've
listen.
heard it.
I don't
Yes,
no
I've
really. You
heard
want
the
me to
rap
listen
music
to Melly
glorifying
Mel? Put me
gangs
in
and
jail.
stuff. I've heard it. Yeah.
I don't really don't like gang rap and all that. I don't listen to
game
that.
right.
I
Okay,
like
gangster.
Southern rap. I like happy rap.
So you're
Let me tell you
saying that
something. When
yeah.
when when we have songs about killing each other and it's cool and everybody's like get blah, 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 blah.
But you can see that contributes to the gun violence as well. So shouldn't we
Right.
be
So I think we
improving?
need to exit out. Like I really think that
Shouldn't
these
but taking away guns is not going to
why
it's
do you guys always say take away the guns?
well, gun
No,
control. Sorry, I'm
listen.
sorry. Gun control.
We're going to
Right,
control the guns. Yeah, and by
right.
controlling the guns, we need to control the culture.
But we wouldn't need to control the guns if our culture was in order.
Exactly.
You
It's
get what I'm
not.
saying?
It's not in order
Exactly.
at all.
So why don't we improve our culture by you know by having better role models?
Yeah, I'm trying to be that here on TikTok. What I'm telling you is, instead of worried about your gun, you should be worried about getting your pockets. A lot of people are making a lot of money right now in real estate. A lot of people are making a lot of money. Why aren't you worried about what job you're going to do or what college degree? We need to normalize education. Some people are so like, well, I don't want to go to school because I don't want to be in debt. Screw your debt. Pay into the principal. Okay? Don't you understand that? Interest rates and things like that. Educate yourself. Education, knowledge is power. I don't know who said it, but somebody down the line, I'm pretty
That's
sure
what we
they were
should be
Black,
doing
said,
in the Black community. I agree. We should
we
be
have got
educating
to
them.
make education the pillar of our culture. I don't care
Exactly.
how old I am. I swear to God, if they made a law that said instead of reparations, every African American person can go to college for free at any college that they want, because there was a point in this country where we weren't even allowed to read.
Well, free college. They have to have
We're only
good test
13% of the
scores.
population. God dang it, let us get a
I'm,
little ahead.
free college sounds
I
nice,
want to go
but
back to school.
they need they also need good test scores. We can't just let anybody in
Okay, yeah, but
college.
so education, that's what we should be
But
focusing on.
test scores tell you nothing, and I believe I'm the only teacher here. But
Yeah,
test
that's true. You
scores
are the
tell
only
you
teacher.
nothing.
Does it Test scores don't tell you anything?
They don't.
Listen, what I believe is that we are
How
all
Are
how
you
learning.
so? How
asking me
so? How
reason?
so?
Are you
No, no,
asking or
I'm
telling?
asking. I'm
really don't like
asking
Yeah,
like
testing.
how so?
they don't, because at the end of the
I
day,
don't want to take it.
the what we've come to find out is even our state standardized tests that are out there, they're not geared for students' learning abilities. Like they don't account for, in my class, that I may have actually got this student to really understand something and now they truly understand it. That test is not going to work with those students like that. It's just testing, say, okay, do you know any of this? And that just, it sets those kids up for failure, because when you are a teacher and you are basically teaching to test, then
Yeah,
you've just set those students up to fail.
So
yeah,
are you
I
saying
agree.
like
I think that's
are you saying
horrible.
like basically like root learning, like
He's
we
saying
take
testing
tests?
doesn't prove that they know their stuff. Testing doesn't prove that you know your stuff.
Like it shouldn't just
Right.
be about testing.
Correct.
So you think testing is more about regurgitating rather than understanding, pretty much, right?
Correct. That's
Okay.
it.
Wow,
Okay.
that's sick.
Okay. Okay.
Because how many
Yeah,
people
and a lot
listen?
of that.
I remember when I was in school, I had dealt with a lot of domestic abuse in our family. We got hit with the belt every single day. That's why I say don't beat your kids. Because when I was sitting in class, I was poking my welts. And so a lot of people don't know what a lot of these kids are going through. So to give them a test and hold them all to the same standard and think that they have all the same lifestyle, it's just not really okay. I think we need to have more smaller classrooms, like 30 people in a freaking classroom for what? For what? I think we
Yeah,
need to have smaller classrooms with teachers
Mm-hmm.
that can give you more attention, because you can, if you're around one person or having the same teacher throughout your school year. I think it's funky how we have a different teacher when we're in elementary school every freaking year. We should have like a classroom homeroom teacher, almost like a mom, if you will, that's teaching you the ropes. I mean, unless she was horrible, then you would switch off or something like that. But I think the school system, and what is this? You have to be at school. My daughter has to be at school at 7:20 for what? For what? She's tired by the time she gets in there. All these kids. Have you guys seen the new wardrobe of the ninth graders? It's pajamas. They're tired. Who the hell's going to
I
Well,
work
don't,
at seven
and
twenty?
I
so
agree. I don't think.
I'm going to
I'm
answer
sorry.
your question about the different teachers. So, and I've been in that position. Like I taught kindergartners, and my parents truly wanted me to teach their kids in first grade. That's not, you have to think about it. My teaching styles are going to be different from the next teacher. And the idea is that they get a variety of teaching and a variety of understanding. So for me to stay with that same group of students all the way through, I think that any teacher, and I've seen that, my colleagues who've done it, who will go from kindergarten through fifth grade, then leave that school to go to middle school, then leave that school to go to high school to finish with those same students, they are setting those students up as a disservice to those students, because they're not learning anything but from that
Well, how do you
individual
explain
person.
longevity at a job? I mean, I think the whole point of going to school is so that you can get a career and have a job. So imagine having the same boss for 10 to 15 years, having that camaraderie with. I'm sorry, having that camaraderie with a person would set them up for not failure, but consistency.
my question is why are they only
And
teachers? Why aren't
this
they
person's gonna know
psychologists?
you more than anybody else. I mean, how many bosses have we had for, like, I've got the same manager for the past 3 years. What am I supposed to do? Switch
Right.
up because she's boring?
My question is why aren't there enough psychologists? In classroom or in schools or whatnot, because really there's no one who actually understands these children's minds, what's going on with
That's
them.
right.
So I mean, if you look at the cognitive dissonance and like actually trying to dissect what's going on with them mentally, there's a possibility that they can come to school, feel comfortable, and actually open up to people and actually
Right.
you know find
Right.
a relief, because a lot of
Oh my
kids.
God. You just really struck a chord right now. That was really eloquent of you. Um,
Yeah,
and you know what? It really breaks my heart because I know I'm not a therapist, but I love kids. And
yeah,
I
but
wish I could go, especially like in predominant black neighborhoods. Like I don't live in a predominant black neighborhood, but I live right next to one. And it's
Right.
because I can afford the town that I live in. It breaks my heart that these kids can't afford where my kids go to because of their circumstances. And sometimes they're living in these situations that I know is not conducive. I'm a realtor. I go into these homes and I see them and I see how the house looks and I see the parents. And I'm just like, how are you guys living in this filth?
right.
And so I wish that I could have a way to go to these kids and say, how I would love to help them. How do we help these kids? And that's
Mhm.
what gun control is to me, because some of these kids get angry. Some of these kids are being beaten every single day by their parents because it's normalized to beat
and
them.
they're
They get upset and they get horrible what is it called, coping skills.
Yeah.
right.
And they don't know how to have a healthy anger. And
I can
there
guarantee
is
you
a
a
healthy anger.
majority
You
of
can
these
get mad, you can work
these
harder,
gun
you
violent
can get
cases.
mad and run, but some people get mad and they shoot.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a majority of these gun violent cases, especially when they're young adults, they're on some kind of opioid or some kind of drug or whatnot that's allowing them to be less fearful whenever they commit these acts of violence. So
Right.
drugs is a huge part as well.
Let me tell you guys something. Devon Tillman, man, he was like 19 years old. And that one, out of all the deaths I saw year 2020 and 2021 and 2022, Devon Tillman, I even made a song about it. That just killed me, you guys. No pun intended. When I was watching the video, go look at Devon Tillman, 19-year-old. He had his gun in his hand, and there was like 10 cops pointed it at him, and he thought that the gun was that was his protection because he didn't know any better. He didn't know that the cops are going to kill him because he had his gun in his hand.
Yeah.
Because if you have a gun, you are deemed violent, and they didn't trust him with a gun. It probably wasn't legal either.
Right.
So he got like 30 something bullets. 19-year-old. He didn't have the gun pointed at nobody.
I think 30 bullets is over excessive. It's too much.
They overkilled that 19-year-old. And guess what? Society's going this. You want to know why? Because he should never had that gun. And me, whenever I'm talking to you guys, I tell you guys this, and I've told you this before. I wish I was a police officer that day. I would have put my body on that freaking boy because I can look at him and I can tell he wouldn't have fucking done nothing.
Yeah, but here's another thing.
But he
like,
had a gun, so they killed him. 30 something bullets.
When it comes to firearms and
Devon,
stuff like that,
Eric Devon Tillman.
I really question if it really helped because I mean, if you look in places like in Europe and Britain or whatnot, where it's kind of more controlled, they still have violence regardless of what weapon they have. They'll still find a way in some sense. So it's not
I
really
just
different.
want to disarm black men and arm them with that old school freaking fight like Martin Luther King and even the leader of the Black Panthers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where is that? Where is that fight for education? Why are we marching for rights again? Why are we fighting for more? And to be honest, we don't even need to fight because we have the laws now to do it.
Well, strategically, like the FBI have been known, to kill our leaders or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like most of our leaders, they can find the information classified online that Malcolm X, MLK, these guys were assassinated by the FBI.
True.
And it's all because they don't want us to really have our own. They want us to be, kumbaya, merge with them, but only if we're underneath their parenting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I have to say this, and somebody said this in the comment section that if a white person was a part of gun, like it would even make the news. So there's been like this fetishization, this normalization of black men killing each other. Okay, I'm guilty. I watch 48 Hours. I'm not gonna lie. I watch Investigation, and they're constantly pumping this narrative that black men are constantly killing each other. And I can't say that it's not true, but the 13% of the population, we're either watching black men become football players or they're in the streets killing each other.
Or rappers.
Like happy medium.
Or rappers.
Or rappers. Where are the doctors? Where are the psychologists? Where
We
are
really need some psychology specifically. That's a major
alpha omegas? Why are we rapping about like Kanye when he was saying, remember his college album? That was lit.
Oh yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
He normalized going to college. I was like, yo, this is good.
Because let's put it in the context of I feel like I want to say it was either Nicki Minaj or Cardi B, one of the two. Like I think one of them said that they wouldn't let their own kids listen to their music, but it's just they're going to produce this because sex sells. So
Yeah.
that's all they worried about. So
Right.
that's
Exactly.
what our society has. They like I was listening to somebody rapping the other day. I feel like I heard be this, be that, be this, be that. I'm like, would you sit there and call your mama a bee?
Right. Exactly.
Well,
But
And
that's
that's why I'm
my
like, why am I? Why, I'm like, why?
Our culture needs to change. Our
it
black culture
does.
needs to
It
change.
really freaking does. It's got to change because listen, I really don't belong. I grew up with old school, dark skinned black women, strong too, that taught me to be strong and work and fight for more. Like I didn't get to be weak. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
even now, like I'm so scared to take this broker's test, but I'm gonna do it. I'm nervous as shit, but I'm gonna do it. I just want to see our people not kill each other anymore. And you want to know what? I am a political TikToker and I am a Democrat. I'm gonna tell you right now, left and right are they're laughing. White people are laughing at black people. Here, we want them to work and give tax money to us in reparations, or to at least help us and fix the wrongs that they've done and are still doing. Because let me tell you something: even though the red lines have been gone since 1968, people are still living within the red lines. Ain't nobody fixed nothing, not even a light bulb. All right, and I can tell you that I can see it. So
yeah.
why are they going to fix things behind the red lines when we're killing each other? So what we're supposed to do? Have these beautiful developments, and we're killing each other within the developments? Because that's what it looks like. It looks like white people are more safe, and they're not. But that's what they make it seem like, that we're dangerous.
Yeah, it's all through propaganda. It's another psychological
I'm going to tell
warfare.
you this: the gun has everything to do with it. Do me a favor before I go. Imagine an Indian man, with the dot,
Yes.
with a gun. I bet you can't, because the one I know makes good freaking curry and chicken and garlic naan.
Now you're trying to make people hungry.
I'm telling you, it's the best in the. I'm telling you, I'm about to go get me some right now.
I think we just embrace this culture and the black culture, and it's like it's
Yes,
not,
they
it's
have a
negative.
dot.
It's negative. It's very negative, and we love to embrace it for
Parts of the
some reason.
culture is negative, not all.
Well, yeah, but like,
But at the same time,
it's
it's like, is it really a culture that we want to represent us? Because it all comes out of struggle. Like even though it should be a part of us, it shouldn't be our defining title. You know
Let
what
me
I'm
tell you
saying? Because we
something.
yeah.
struggled for so long.
Latinos are right there with us. I have a Latino young girl, um, a
Wait,
friend of
which kind of
mine.
Latina? Is she
She
like
called me.
indigenous or she?
She's a young Puerto Rican girl. She called me
Oh Lord.
and she said this. Let me tell you, Puerto Ricans, the ones that I know, I can't tell the difference from them and black people. To tell you the truth, I can't tell the difference. Maybe it's my proximity, but they look up to me because I'm in real estate, so I help them find a home. And she said that she just had a new baby and she's in the streets. She has nowhere to go, and she has a job where she makes like $500 every 2 weeks or something like that. I'm like, God dang, poverty is there. So,
Exactly,
so,
and that
and guess what?
and
She has two sons that are very little,
mm,
but they're gonna grow up
mm.
watching their mother struggle like that. Don't you think that would make somebody angry? Don't you think that would make somebody crazy? And don't you think that would make somebody not give a damn?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
I agree
Might
with
make
that.
them want to load up and protect their mom, protect what they have. And
And
if
it's
you
gonna make
cross
them
that,
go out, and
why would
it's
they
gonna
care
make them
about
go
you? They're
out.
gonna take you out. Them
Hmm.
over you. So yes,
Exactly.
money has everything to do with it. Education has everything to do with it. That's why we have to take a holistic
They're
approach.
gonna be in fight or flight mode the whole time, ready to kill.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody in my way, they getting put down. That's how they see it,
So how do we
because they
how
don't
do
have.
we how do we combat that?
I
I just
think
Well,
want to be there. I just want to shake every person in this country and say, what do you need? Because we got money going overseas right now to
Hmm.
stuff and matters that have nothing to do with us.
yeah, sending all that money to Ukraine, but what happened with Syria? What happened with all these Middle Eastern countries and Northern African countries, and Congo hasn't even got the reparations yet from the Holocaust from Belgium. So it's like it's a lot of stuff that we're overlooking because
Right. So
we're
I think what we got to do is we got to start getting involved, y'all. We got to start knowing stop not looking at the news. We got to read the papers, know who's in charge, and we got to get
Hmm.
people involved that are going to actually do something.
Well, yeah, it's one thing to actually say something, but to actually put into action. Because I mean, think about it. One great mind is okay, but
Right.
you have a dirty mind or a messed up mind or
Ooh, hey.
constructed mind, and then they have like
Hey,
5
you get a
kids,
lot done with a dirty mind, let me tell you.
and then,
But let
I
me tell you
wanna
this.
I
you
wanna
got
take
I
note of this.
promise this. I don't know. I've had such a hard time trying to get to 100,000 followers. But I always said this. I don't know why I'm still here because the Lord knows people be trying to come for me. But if I ever get a chance to do anything, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is.
yeah.
Hold on. She said, so being poor equals crime. Yes, it does, actually.
It could.
There's a
It could.
correlation
Being
between
poor
that. I
could
don't
mean
see
Look
why
could
people
mean
say it's
look
defeat.
at South America.
It's
I
not
mean,
it's not an
shit.
excuse.
South
It's
America got.
actually being poor actually equates to crime. I don't think people there's a
but does
correlation.
that give but does
And
that give an
I think it was
right?
Elite who said that.
But
And I
listen,
think you have to remember something too, is that think about it in this format, Elite. If somebody's in poverty and they're starving and they go to get food, and so that is what we're saying to you is that people who are not able to have as much as you, because apparently since you made it that statement, so being poor equals a crime. Then if you were on if you were on the other end of those people's circumstances, what would you do?
They
Sorry, Andrew,
probably
go
say
ahead. I'm
pretty
sorry.
much
You
like
don't
work
see people
hard
in rich
and
you
yeah.
don't see people in rich neighborhoods shooting up people and stuff
that's
because
true.
they have the resources.
They got too much
Right.
to lose. They got too
They
much to
have the
lose.
resources. So I'm not saying it's always causation, but there is a correlation between being poor
Yeah.
and crime.
Yeah. Like
So like
it's
I
not
said,
like a right or wrong question. What he's saying is there's a reason to the rhyme.
All right.
because it's funny to me how like we have people in the black community that make it out of the culture and whatnot. They don't really have as many kids as people that are in the poor community, and kids equals benefits from the government in a sense. Maybe
Right.
not a lot, but like that's really some people's bread and butter is having children.
Well,
And
I'm gonna
so
say this, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, and you guys are gonna think I'm gonna sound conservative, but I do believe that our men in general need to make sure that they take care of their kids and take care of the women. I think black women have been left behind. I really do, and used and abused. I can't emphasize that more. When we start taking care of the women of our culture, and then they can take care of more focus on the kids, then we're going to see a difference as
but
well.
see
But I
but
don't
see
think that's the only problem. I think that there's some amazing fathers out there, but they're just not getting enough attention. Unfortunately, the bad ones get all the attention.
the bad ones have more kids.
That's true.
Yeah,
Tell
yeah,
my brother.
That is true.
yeah, yeah. They
You
have
don't
Yeah,
see
more
but
no
you know
kids.
good
what?
man. You don't see a
We're
good
talking
man with
about
but with
black men.
six.
Black men are starting to be with other women,
Yeah,
and we're starting to
and
see what they've been doing to us to them. And let me tell you, it's laughable a little bit. Because it's just
but
like, okay, because you guys thought that you guys were going to get the creme to la creme billionaire Kanye West, and you got Crazy Joe off the block with money.
yeah. Well,
But I
and
do,
that's a
I
whole
do
nother
pray for
conversation.
everybody. Listen, I believe it, and I believe in all of us. I just think that we got to keep talking about it. And I think if we can intervene in any way, shape, or form, let's do it. I'm just waiting for the opportunity for one of us to freaking come up. One of us has got to freaking make it
Well, I
and,
mean,
and,
there's a
and,
lot
and
of
do
us.
something with it.
There's a lot of us that are that are making that good bank, but it's like there's a fear in actually standing out. You know, like you see people like LeBron with all that money, a billion, Michael Jordan with all that money, billions, Kanye with billions, but like when they actually
Well,
start,
LeBron is actually doing a lot, I think.
Yeah, he does a lot for his community. He really
he
does.
does a lot. He does a lot for what we see. But if we had that kind of money, I mean,
What would you do?
man,
What would
oh
you do
yeah,
with
what would I
money?
do? I'm not a materialistic kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm
I'm gonna
building
tell you what I would
neighborhoods.
do. I would I would start a 501c. That's a nonprofit organization, and I would collect donations, and I would have a map of the U.S. of A. And every city, I would have like probably like a team of maybe 50. I'm talking from all demographics, all backgrounds, right? That monitor the gun archives like a secret center. and pinpoint where the hot spots are, and then come in like the swap with a whole package to combat it. I'm talking money to be put for what needs to be done. I'm talking a hospital that can pop up a hospital so people can get more help with mental illness. That's friendly, inviting, comfortable, so that people can come in whenever they want. And also funds for civil policing, security, and surveillance
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this.
and protection.
I'm gonna say this. The
I'm
closer a
talking.
black,
I think we need to have more gun. What are they called? Gun detectors.
I'm gonna say this. The closer a black person gets to that LeBron Kanye status kind of money, the more rich white people are in their contact list. You know what I'm saying? The more rich white people are in their ear talking to them, influencing them, making sure they protect that money, and making sure it doesn't go to where it needs to go. Because I mean, that's where the connections are. Because white people own everything.
They
Like,
do, and we need them on our side. That's why I can't stand when people be calling white people that are allies white saviors. It's like we need all of them because there's not enough.
well, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. Because I mean, when you get a lot of money, it makes you different because you're not in the projects a lot. When you're rich, you're not going to be in the projects. You're not going to be looking that way because you want to protect yourself. I mean, I'm not saying I'll
Listen,
be that personally, but at the same time, a
I'm
lot of
in
people
real
are like
estate,
that.
and I've been in New York. I've seen the projects. I went to one with my girlfriend, and let me tell you something. Do you know what pissy halls are?
No, I ain't never
Mm-hmm.
heard of it.
I got to
No, what
smell
are
what
they?
that smelled like, and I can
Where
still
were you at
smell
again?
it.
Where
I
were
went
you
to
at?
New York. I don't remember which one of the bricks buildings that was
But you
in.
was in a project, right?
It was the projects. Because when I walked in, you just get tons of looks because they new face. I was like, "Yo, where am I?" And then I
Yeah,
smelled the busy hallways, and I said, "We in the projects, aren't we?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." And I went
it's
in.
one.
Guess what? It was fine. It was a clean apartment and all. But what I would say is, there should be like some type of government like incentive, where if somebody wanted to manage one of these properties, there should be some type of like you know what I'm saying? You should be able to buy them maybe and manage them, be able to collect some proceeds from the funds, from the rents. And with that, when there's good management, there's going to be protocols in place within the building. It's going to be security, okay? There's going to be surveillance. There's going to be rules.
Yeah.
It's a generational
And if you
thing.
don't abide by the
It's a
rules, you
generate. I
live
think.
there.
I think, man.
I
I
think
think a
for
two
like,
parent household is actually like needed. I'm a
Yes,
two
yes.
parent household.
Listen, either a two-parent household. Listen, I can't live with my ex right now because we don't get along. But let me tell you
Right.
something. We still co-parent though.
Right.
So
But
even though
when
he's
you
not here, he financially made sure I was okay.
right, so but I think that people we've gotten to the notion that we think that a two-person household is great, but there are single men, there are single women. Yes, that those I just want to make sure that we're not saying that people like that can't take care of their children, their responsibilities, because they truly can. I mean, I know people who have held it down, and I mean, my gosh, their kids are phenomenal. But it shows what it shows to those kids too is that this is my parent who is able to do for me with this just small amount of whatever they may have.
Right.
That sets their kids up also to be an excel. And I'm
Well,
not
I
saying
think
that a two
I think
person
money
household
has a
doesn't
lot to do
work.
with it. I'm now recently a single parent of three, and both my kids' fathers they help me financially, so I don't struggle, and it makes me be a better parent. It makes me be a better person. I don't cry because I need to pay the bills. I cry because I'm lonely, So it's a situation, and when I think about what my life would be like if they weren't helping me. Um, I don't know. I'd probably have to go back to my island and I'd lose everything. And that probably would make me go off the whim. So I just feel really bad that all these women that are having these kids and these men are deserting them. And listen, women have to take care of the kids physically. So they can't
Right.
do both. Okay.
Well, I would say, because I have a situation where I have two kids, but I'm not with the mother, and she's in almost in. I mean, I'm not gonna bash her, but like it's almost impossible to really do that. So I wouldn't even like.
To
I'm not
do
really a
what?
big to like, in a sense, co-parent.
Oh, is she a
Yeah,
difficult co-parenter?
extremely, like on the highest degree, like
But see, but
almost
you have
pathological
rights.
lying. But see,
So
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I've never been a true advocate of two-parent households because I do understand that sometimes in some situations kids do have two parents, but the two parents are just as toxic, you know what I'm saying, to
Mm-hmm.
them as just one parent. So
That's true.
in my opinion, two-parent households is just like it's an industrialized not industrialized, but like a white man's construct of what a family looks like.
right.
Because in Africa, some places, cultures in Africa, it's the entire village that really raises the children. Like
Yeah.
you can go across the street to Aunt, Aunt Gina, or your neighbors or
Right.
whatnot, and everybody will treat you like family because
Community.
everybody has the same moral
That's how it
principles.
used to be back in the day, though. By the way, too.
It ain't like that no
Oh
more.
yeah,
I
I mean,
remember one
Nah.
time
I
when
grew up
years
on
ago,
that.
I had one of my girlfriends. I had low money at the moment, and she let me use her EBT card. I was like, okay, and she came back and told me she wanted the money that I spent times two with cash. And I was like, no. So
But like I said, like
everybody's out for themselves at this point,
the
But think about this. What if we did this? What if we had communities that was rent free?
that'd be nice. That'd be
That'd be nice.
for real.
You
We
you
should
say
have that. We're
communities
only
that were
13%
rent
of the
free.
population. And saying
Imagine
what?
if you didn't have to worry about rent for however moment in time to get on your feet, and you had a house and it was suitable for you and your family, and it had green grass, and you had a bus system,
Yeah, it
and you
would be
had the
nice.
ability to have also assistance with food stamps, but you're not charged rent. So they have a thing called Section 8.
Right.
However, it's very similar. However, I don't care. I'm a practicing realtor. Most sellers don't want Section 8 because they have a bad reputation now. That's what nobody's talking about, is that people with Section 8 have a bad reputation. And if you have Section 8 and you go apply, a lot of these um, landlords don't want you. And the ones that do, they put you into their properties that they don't really care about. It's investment property.
Yeah,
And it's
I'd
That's
say
true.
usually in the ghetto.
Section 8 should come with free therapy as well. like
That too. Section 8,
that should
listen,
be
I
therapy should be
believe
a
that Section
requirement.
8 should be normalized again. And I believe that in real estate, they should make it illegal for any tenant, actually, it is like this, but I see them do it. They should not be allowed to um, credit check Section 8. That's how they discriminate. Because they cannot discriminate you on the basis of your Section 8. They discriminate you on the basis of your credit. How are you supposed to have good credit? You can't even pay your rent.
Yeah.
And some of them do have good credit, and some of them even have jobs because they have Section 8. The landlord don't want them.
Or it
And
depends on the
did you know
area
this?
code too.
It takes 4 years almost to get it. And did you know this? Why aren't men normalized to get it? It's mostly women getting it. Why can't men get it?
Men are looked down upon for getting it.
Sometimes men need help too. And
Men
they,
only
although the
seem
kids don't
valuable
live with them,
from what they
maybe
provide.
they're fighting for them to
Hey,
live with them, things of that nature, you know.
To Celine in the comments, nobody wants to pay more taxes, but I think that if we have to repurpose where our money's already going. So if we're sending money, as Andrea and um, the other co-host here has stated, is money is going out the window across seasons. It's been doing that for at least 30 years.
Right.
I mean, I even said that during about the pandemic. We were willing to give other countries money,
Yeah.
Rather than help
but
our
our
own.
own
Like,
people right here are suffering. And okay, we give you $600, or we'll give you $1,400. I'm like, What is that going? How is that going to get anybody by on
Right.
what?
And people are upset that we got that. I'm like, are you kidding me? I paid one bill with that thing.
Yeah, we like to give other people, other countries money, but don't even like to help our own here. Like
It's got to stop.
yeah, it's
All
got to
right,
stop.
guys. Well, listen, please add our co-host here. If you guys go live, I'm pretty sure you guys continue conversation. But one thing's for sure, I'm never going to stop talking about gun control because I'm really tired of this. When is it going to stop? When are we going to stop killing each other?
Yeah, that's a fact.
When is it
Hopefully
going to
one day
stop?
it
Because
starts with
until
the
it stops,
kids.
I won't stop. All right.
Starts with the
All right,
kids.
guys. You guys have a good night. I'll see you guys soon.
All right,
You
you
too.
too.
All right. See you
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.